Welcome back to more Sunday Funday. 2 Sunday Fundays in one day. Can the fun stand in just a single Sunday? I think it can, friends. I think it can. And I have a goal of actually finishing this jug of mimosas in this game. I've been drinking on this for like 3 hours. I feel like I really failed at my mimosa drinking job. Welcome back! I'm Little Red Dot. I drink from jugs that say Sunday Funday on them. On Sundays, when I hang out with these fun people. We roll dice, and we tell stories, and we play some D&D. I am so excited. This is my community game, which means that you can actually sign up for this game. To do that, all you have to do is be part of my Discord. Every 3 months, I put out 3 new months of signups. They're first come, first served for my Patreon and Ko-Fi supporters, and then after that, it's free for all. So the best thing to do is stick to the Discord or to my Twitter, and you can gain access to that. I will be posting next week, so March 1, basically. That will be April and May's signups will go out March 1. So those are coming up. We are full up for, obviously, today and in March, but new signups are coming. And so what is Sunday Funday? Well, like I said, we roll dice, we play some games. Total one-off, total chill, total ridiculous. This is really a place for me to test silly ideas with awesome people who love telling stories. So that's why we're here. And in fact, I'm really excited because... you're not a fun guy. That's right. Silo likes fun guys, though. For today, we're actually going to be testing out a module from one of my absolute besties of friends. His name is Remley Farr. I don't know if you know who he is, but you should. He's a fantastic game designer and a great role player. He's actually who got me into the tabletop world online. Outside of my podcast, he was the first one that was like, did you know that people do this on Twitch? I was like, what? And here we are. So I owe everything to old Mr. Remley Farr. But more than that, he is just a good dude, and he writes these incredibly weird and kind of graphic, we'll call them weird and graphic, modules. And the one that we're playing today is actually part of a larger set that he is getting ready to complete. So you're actually getting a sneak preview before you can even buy it on the market. But you can, in fact, get a hold of Mr. Remley Farr and check out the rest of the things that he has published, which is quite a bit, at his website, which I'm going to post right here in chat for all of you, which is remleyfarr.com. There's that. I'm going to go around. Let's get casting here introduced and let them tell you what character they're playing. But as they do that, I want you to take a second to realize that there are ways that you can affect our game today, including donating, both like regular donations and bits. Bits fill up the star of chaos you see below. Then the star of blessing fills with donations. Whichever fills first, they get blessings or they get chaos. Pretty simple. So we build those together. In addition, there are a few things down below you can check out. I think you can donate some Nat 20s. Don't forget, if you're a Patreon supporter, you also, depending on your tier, may get free Nat 20s and such to give. One of the things you can give, instead of a wild magic surge, I do something called the wild magic dots, which basically are kind of like the black spot in pirate lore. It's a curse or thing that happens to you. We have a whole table of magical dots that you can add to, yo. Magical dots. Go. Wrong one. My bad. Let me try that again. Magic dots, not magical dots. Nope. Magic dot. I should know this. I can't believe I don't know this. Clearly, I don't do this enough. There we go. Magic dots. It's not plural. That is just an open table. You can go add wild magic dots to the table. And when somebody donates one to any of the, I guess, crew, they have to random roll off the table. So, you might want to actually do that. And make their... Weird. I don't know why that cheer didn't work. It's very strange. Techno. You may want to make that a reality. That is enough from me. I'm going to hop in with some more story here in just a second, but let's get rolling, get these characters introduced. So, you guys go around, I'll kind of lead you in. Tell me who you are and who your character is. Make sure to give us a very brief description of their race and class, as well as maybe what they look like. That way we can speed story up just a smidge. So let's just, let's start at the end. Big B.
Oh, that's me.
That's you!
Hi. You guys know me as Big B. This is actually my first ever D&D game, so I am totally not panicking right now.
It's gonna be fine.
Yeah, I'm playing Barbarian Dragonborn, so that should be fun.
Fun times.
Yeah,
Yes.
pretty much like a drugged out nomad. That's the most interesting thing about him.
Yep. I love
His
that.
name is Smoke Leaf the Distant because of how he comes forth. And that's pretty much it.
I love that so much. I if you guys didn't know, I'm a total snob for drug jokes. I just think they're hysterical, or puns. Like, just bring it on. Like, I love them. I mean, I have an entire character named after one. So, awesome. Moving right on down the line, Joel.
Hey, I'm Joel Rez. I'm playing a human wizard named Human Kyle. I was from a small town. I don't know much about it because it was destroyed as I was a baby by a group of necromancer liches, and they couldn't bring themselves to kill me, so they raised me up, and they didn't really understand human culture, so they thought that all babies were just named Kyle. So that's why my name is Human Kyle. And recently I went out to get some supplies and came back and found that all of my lich fathers were murdered. But understanding the cycle of life and death as being a necromancer, I decided it was time to set out and spread the good word of necromancy.
The good word of necromancy. Here. And today will be an interesting one for you, I have a feeling. I'm excited to see how that turns out. All right. Also spreading good words. How are you today, Master Stivers?
Oh, it's Severs.
Severs. Oh, good. See, I'm glad that you're filling me in on this because I've never met you in person. Thank you, Severs.
So my name is James Severs. I go by Imperatorus Eritus online. I have my own Discord server where we have D&D sessions and things like that on occasion. Although because of school time, people have been a little busy. It's kind of a newer thing, so we're doing good though. So my character is Edgar Silverstein, or Silverstein, I guess. He's named after Edgar Allan Poe and Shel Silverstein, two of my favorite poets of all time.
Oh, cool.
He is a bard. He's a gnome. He's got pink and green hair, green as the leaves are as the spring comes. And pink is, your daughter's flashy pink wear, her Barbie toys, things like that. And he is a bard of the College of Whispers.
Ooh, interesting.
I do want to pimp out Humble Bundles, which I just recently came across the other day. There is one there if you guys are Pathfinder fans. There's a Humble Bundle that goes on for 10 more days where you pay basically what you want. If you pay $18 or more, you get $505 worth of books, digital copies now, not physical.
Ooh.
But that's a lot of stuff, and it goes towards cystic fibrosis.
Oh, that's awesome.
As a charity. So I just thought I would point that out because I think it's a worthy cause.
It is a worthy cause.
And I think it's Pathfinder, and there's some Starfinder stuff in there too, isn't it? Somebody told me.
Yes,
I haven't
absolutely.
So if you're interested in trying that out.
Oh.
Yes. So if you pay $18, basically here I can I'll pull it up here so that I know exactly what you get. At $1 you get at $1 or more you get the Pathfinder Beginner Box, the core rulebook, the Bestiary, Game Master Guide, player character folio, We Be Goblins as the module, We Be Goblins 2, We Be Goblins Free, We Be 4 Goblins, Shattered Star Player's Guide, and the Pathfinder Online Trial.
Nice.
$8 or more gets Advanced Player's Guide, Advanced Class Guide, NPC Codex, Monster Codex, Villain Codex, the Inner Sea World Guide, Goblins of Golarion, Shards of Sin, Curse of the Lady's Light. 15 or more gets Ultimate Magic, Ultimate Combat, Ultimate Equipment, Ultimate Campaign, Ultimate Intrigue, Bestiary 2 and 3, Advanced Race Guide, Inner Sea Gods, Magnamar, City of Monuments, Verisia, Birthplace of Legends, The Asylum Stone, Beyond the Doomsday, and if you pay $18 or more, you get the Starfinder Core Rulebook, which, by the way, is totally worth it because it's like 500 plus pages.
Wow.
You get the Strategy Guide, Inner Sea Races, Bestiary 4 and 5, Occult Adventures, Pathfinder Unchained, Mythic Adventures, Dwarves of Galarian, Elves of Galarian, Gnomes of Galarian, Halflings of Galarian, Humans of Galarian, Kobolds of Galarian, Orcs of Galarian, Into the Nightmare Rift, The Hearts of Sheen, and Shattered Star poster map folio, which is...
Wow. Did you put the link there for them, right, so that they can go check all this out too? Because I know I can't remember all that.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I did put the Humble Bundles in there. It should be, at least when I last looked at the link, it was like the second option.
Okay, cool.
But they have other options too.
All right. Well, go check that out. I mean, I myself have not played Pathfinder in years, but as everybody so blatantly pointed out, it is for a great cause. And you get so much for so little, and you get to help people while at it, which you guys know I am absolutely all about. So that is... that's really awesome. Thank you for sharing that. You know why I called you Stivers? Because my best friend's name is James Stivers.
Yeah.
That's it. It spilled out. I was trying to think about. I was like, man, why did I call him that? Oh, I know why. It's so close.
So,
fantastic.
I too noticed this a while ago.
Yeah,
I was like, wow,
so,
our names literally changed by one
letter. Like one letter. That's fine. Well, the next person up today is not new to this channel. You have seen her around and about. She played in the Awesome Capers game that was here, and I absolutely adore her. You've probably seen her around the Discord, too. Hey, Madfish!
Hello! I'm super excited.
Yeah! I'm really glad you're back. I love gaming with you. So, who are you playing?
Today, I am playing Kala. Kala is a Kenku cleric. Trickster cleric of the goddess Anoia.
Oh.
The goddess of stuck drawers.
Fantastic.
Kala was found as an egg by an elderly couple of halflings who lived out in the, kind of in the middle of nowhere. They raised this little Kenku as their own in the religion of the couple, and eventually the couple passed away of old age, and now Kala must go out in the world, and into a world they really don't know a whole lot about, because their entire life has been in a small sort of cabin out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
So this
Interesting.
little 5-foot-tall raven person wearing a huge cloak that is made completely of patchwork and a silver soup ladle around their neck.
Because why not? I love that.
It's their holy symbol.
Oh, of course. Yeah, of course.
The symbol of Anoia.
It's the ladle in the drawer.
It's
Anoia.
the ladle that gets stuck in the drawer.
It's always a ladle. I love that. Awesome. And last but certainly not least, a name you've seen around the Discord. But now we have a face. Hey, Ninja.
Hello. I am playing Gok, or however you want to pronounce it. Turtle Light Domain Cleric. Just basically out to experience the world and see what's out there. He is not very bright, nor is he the most coordinated, so he bumps into people with his shell a lot. Or just like turns suddenly and yeah. So stand close to him at your own peril.
Sure.
So yeah, he's just out to kind of, before he gets too ingrained in his ways, he wanted to travel the world and see all of the wild, interesting things that are out there. And he had heard about this tavern that has like really good ale.
Yep. Correct. You have heard about this tavern, as well you should have, because Brulnice, she don't play when it comes to making a good red ale. And all of you have actually managed to find your way to her tavern, called the Ginger Brew Pub. It's not just a pub anymore. She was once an adventurer. sadly took an arrow to the knee and could no longer continue what she was doing, and decided that maybe a life serving those adventurers would better actually serve her. So she opened up this pub, but in its wake has also come a small thwarp, a little town popping up where lost riffraff, old adventurers, people looking just to hawk their wares tend to show up. Small little, I don't know, booths and a little bazaar happen during the day. It's no longer just a tavern in the middle of nowhere as a stopping point for adventurers. So each of you have managed to find your way here, however that was, and for whatever reason, whether you're seeking a job, looking for something, simply just want to put your feet up after a long, extreme adventure. But all of you have found yourself cozied inside of this very warm log pub. In the center, well, near the center back, I guess you'd say, it's kind of a roundish bar where Brunice does her work. The back wall is stacked with barrels and kegs of her famous brew. It's about midday, and if you are a partaker of the alcohols, she's probably poured you one, if not two. It's very tasty, this red ale, and it is whispered that if you drink enough, it has healing properties as well. Though nobody knows exactly how that is. Brunice jokes that she simply puts enough love into it.
Well, Edgar will have certainly had at least 3 or 4 by now.
That's good. And you guys kind of sip away. It's relatively quiet, actually, compared to, like, your normal kind of in-town tavern. It seems a little bit more relaxed than that.
I think you would see the sort of bundle of patchwork clothing and the big black beak really close to the fire. Just all bundled up, and a little something in their hand. They're doing some kind of needlework.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, you're kind of sitting to yourself. Anybody else doing anything, just really particular? Yeah.
Hugh Mann is very excited. He's spent most of his time living with all the liches and didn't get to go out a lot. So he's definitely enjoying the drinks and trying to just ask people, if they've heard the good word of necromancy.
There are a few people that look at you like you've got one too many heads, especially when you talk about the good word of necromancy. Brunice seems a little like, I don't know. She doesn't get weirded out very much. I don't think it's weirded out, but she finds it humorous more than anything that you're attempting to preach the good word of necromancy.
But I will say this. I do not seem like a menacing necromancer. I'm a very positive and upbeat and happy person.
I mean, that's the only way to sell necromancy, right? Like if you're gonna sell necromancy.
I think if you're super positive and stuff, you would see Kala like watching you as
I mean, and I would say you're probably not trying to hide, so you all, more than likely, see him going around. Do you have pamphlets, or are you just talking to people?
No, I totally got some pamphlets. You can tell that I made them. I didn't really have like a huge budget and stuff like that. And it does seem on some old creepy parchment paper because I got it from one of my lich father's desks. So
it may or may not be the skin of something. Yeah.
Yeah.
You the Kenku kind of grabs your sleeve when you get a pamphlet, and they ruffle in a bag and pull out a small handwritten pamphlet of their own, preaching the virtues of Anoia.
I love it. Yeah. I take it. I'm just like, I always love to hear new perspectives.
Yeah.
Somewhere far off, in
Edgar,
some distant corner, you guys.
Oh, wait. Who was it? Go ahead, Birdie.
Somewhere far off in some distant corner of the pub, you guys probably see some giant cloud of smoke with a glowing ember in the middle, and that's all you can see.
That's super
nice.
cool.
You kind of puff on it. It tokes. Very nice.
With a very pungent smell, probably fills up the entire pub.
Yeah, nice. We're missing somebody. Was that you? Yeah, there you go, Ninja.
Doc would probably get like he would go up to the bar, get a tankard, and then like make his way back to some place where there was room for him because he's, you know, with his shell, he's pretty big, bumping into and jostling people as he goes. And about the time he gets to his seat, the tankard is empty, so he turns around to go back, just with this constant "Gaki, sorry, and just constantly, "Excuse me, sorry," and just constantly back and forth, or at least several times now as he's made his way to and from. So
nice. Yeah, so you guys have kind of hung out here for a while, and like I said, you're most of the patronage this time of day. A few people have come and gone. Bruley's got a delivery, but there's another gentleman. We'll call him a gentleman. Off in the corner. I call him a gentleman because he has a very like nice suit on. Like his garb is very, very, very nice, and more importantly, he weeps in the corner, out loud, vigorously, just baby wails.
Kala would.
So,
they hear go over.
Yeah, he's just like, oh no!
And he would look up to see this huge raven head and a black feathered hand patting him on the shoulder, and this old woman's voice comes out of the raven. Everything all right, dear?
No! He wails. He like smashes his head on the table. His beer spills out of his mug. He's a mess. At first glance, like I said, he is kind of a mess. He's a little disheveled. The suit that he's wearing seems to have, like, he's pulled everything apart. His shirt's not buttoned anymore. And he, but a few hours ago, he might have been a whole different man. And he says, "It's not okay." He wails.
Hugh-Man goes up to him and says, if you've lost a loved one, don't worry. Through the power of necromancy, you can be with them again. And I hand him a pamphlet.
Edgar is literally still, I don't know if I mentioned it earlier, but he's just so smitten with Brillness.
Yeah. Oh, with Brolnies.
So interested in her, and all he cares about is her. So unless she says, like, "Can you do something about this?"
Yeah, you're probably actually at the bar then. You didn't take a table. You've been watching her very nonchalantly wipe things down. She's kept your drink full. Brolnies, when she sees you, like, talking to the man, she goes, "Leave him alone! His wife left him yesterday at the altar."
You're so wise, Brillness.
Well, I try to be. She, like, brushes her hair, and she says, "No, I got to go lug some kegs around." And she, like, kicks the back door open, and you can hear her, like, moving some things. And he sits up and he goes, "I don't know why she did it. She just left me." And he keeps crying to, this little kinku, has come over and is trying to console him.
Very awkwardly, like, sort of just patting his shoulder and kind of looking at other people, like, with this sort of tilted head. It's hard to tell if...
Yeah, and he's blubbering, so it's also hard to understand him. It's just, like, terribly hard to understand him. So, he keeps kind of weeping and crying. And who else walked over to see him? Oh, it was our necromancer friend. When you hand him the pamphlet, he uses it to blow his nose. And he kind of like... and he, like, slings it.
I shed a single tear because I'm like, that's the last thing I have to remember my fourth lich father with.
And he just blew Boogie's awe in it. And he looks up at you and he goes, I don't understand. Why would she leave me?"
I think you're a little rude, but maybe that would be it. I don't know. I've just met you, though.
He goes, "But she loved me." It's just a little rude. He goes, but she loved me. She was beautiful and wealthy, and I'm beautiful and wealthy.
I'm gonna go ahead and say you sound a little superficial too. I'm gonna add that as my rude comment.
So
Paula repeats "beautiful and wealthy" exactly in his voice.
Yeah, now learned by you.
So creepy.
Brewley's pops out again, in a hot sweat now, because he's been lugging kegs of beer around in the back. She comes out again, less than daintily, lugging this keg on her shoulder, and she goes, I told him that woman ran right in here yesterday, took a shot, and ran right back out down the road. He don't believe me. Says I'm lying.
Caller repeats, lying, and then kind of tilts their head at you. Blink. Blink.
He looks up at you still in tears and he goes, I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense. Bernice goes, last time I checked, she told me all she wanted was a meat pie. I didn't have none. So I told her the best place to get one was, up the road at that corporate place. What's it called? Petey's Pork Pie Emporium. So that was fast. They've got sheep meat pies if
Edgar's gonna kind of look at Brillness and be like, and point at the Kenku and be like, what do you suppose that thing is?
Oh, well, that guy's a Kenku. You've never seen a Kenku before.
His eyes will get really wide and he'll be like, and he'll just kind of shake his head.
You seem a bit wide-eyed and bushy-tailed. Have you seen anything?
Not really, no, miss.
Well, then you in for a treat, because you'll see all kinds of things right here in Bronice's pub.
I'll stay with you forever, he'll say.
Well, no, see, that's a bit far. Nobody stays with Bronice, at least not for too long. But you know what? If you get the blubbering mess out the corner and help him find his wife so he'd stop wetting down the tables and whatnot, I'll get y'all free drinks and make you meat pies. Way better than...
Deal.
Just a free drink and meat. Yeah, I'm in. This is the first time I've ever had this red elixir, and to be honest, the idea of not having it kind of makes me angry and a little volatile.
Out of the corner, you also probably hear like, I heard free drinks.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad I know how to incentivize everyone's. Just get the blubberer mess out. He's back for customers. He's been here since last night. He's just a wailing ninny.
If it pleases the lady, Edgar is more than happy to oblige.
It does please the Brunice, thank you very much. Now, just fill up, take what you want. I'll have to make the meat pies, so come back for those. And get him out of here, yeah?
Edgar will approach the sobbing man and put his arms around or as close to his shoulders as he can get, because he's like 3 feet 7 inches tall, so he's not all that big. But he'll try at least to reach up and be like, "Hey, let's go and find your wife."
She doesn't want me.
I help lift him up out of the chair.
Why would
Smokely's
she?
gonna like step out of the like giant cloud of smoke, like down 3.
Yeah, you like break through a solid barrier over in the corner.
I love the cartoon, like he leaves it behind him.
Yeah.
Like it's still in the space, and he just steps out.
Like down 3 jugs of ale, like straight after each other in a few seconds, and then like stumble after the guy.
Yeah, so you guys kind of make your way over as he continues to blubber, and he goes, I just don't get it. Why would she leave me for a pork pie?
Did you say just pork pie in general, or a pork pie in particular?
I don't know. He comes, and he says, Broly, she came here, she was looking for a pork pie, and she didn't have one, so she went over the road to get a pork pie.
Are they magical pork pies?
I don't know, I've never really had one, they're kind of overpriced.
I'm a wizard, so I've actually done a lot of research, and breaking down spells and stuff like that. Maybe if we found one of these pork pies, we could figure out what's so alluring about them.
Brolnice throws open what are like those windows to the kitchen, like the little server place, like where you ding the bell. She like throws it open. She goes, "The only place to get a Petey's pork pie is at his Emporium. You should notice they got some all over the place. Those little cookie cutter, fucking little fast foodsy places. Nothing like what you're gonna get here at the Ginger Brew Pub." She slams the doors closed again.
Yeah, Gok has just been watching all of this with fascination because he's most definitely not from around here, so he thinks this is normal. He's taking everything with first impressions. That this is the way things are done.
In this pub, it probably is normal.
And stuff. It would seem that the wisest course of action would be to go to the nearest Porky's Emporium or whatever and sample them and find out if that's why she left.
Yeah, let's go check out these pies.
He sniffles and he goes, "I don't think I could face her. Please bring her back."
I'm gonna be honest. I'll try to do this, but you don't really sound deserving of this person.
But I do. I'm her husband. We're supposed to get married.
That doesn't really mean a lot, but
He's not convincing at all. He's not convincing at all.
Kala just pats him on the back again, and then finds a chair maybe on a patio or something like that. It sits him down and it kind of pats him on the head, and goes, "Stay." And then points at themselves and points down the street where they were sort of gestured to go.
Okay. He kind of whimpers again. All right, whatever you say. I just bring her back.
And I just pat him on the head again.
He goes back to weeping into his elbow on the table.
I hand him another.
Do we know what she looks like?
Oh, you do not know what she looks like.
Doc is like, he's been mulling over that the entire time we've been standing here, and he's just come to that conclusion.
Right. Yeah, you don't know. He didn't tell you what she looks like. He did tell you that she was beautiful, I believe. Let me double check. He said that,
Rich.
That's what he said. He said that she was wealthier than his last wife. More beautiful and wealthier than his last wife.
I just gotta land in any of these women.
That's like enough information for Doc to be going with.
Yeah, he's a halfling. So you can take what you will from that. He does look up and he goes, her name is Remley.
Right.
Please, I beg you, bring her back. And he just like weeps again into like a puddle. And the pork pie emporium that Brulnice is talking about is just up the road. There's another small like town, like a true town where like people live that want to live in like a civilized way, not in Brulnice's little like makeshift thwarp. So you can rightfully assume that's where it is. Now, for those of you that are well-traveled and on the road, you know that these Petey pork pie emporiums have been popping up in some of the larger cities in and around the land. Very corporate-y, and each one of them offers that kind of cookie-cutter style service, food. It is a sit-and-dine kind of place, so...
Building kind of pops up overnight, and they all,
Yeah, exactly. Like, one will pop up here, another one will take the place of a business that goes out of business. Very kind of gentrifier, I guess, if you would. We'll call it a displacer.
Mom and pop pork pie places.
That's right. All the mom and pop pork pie places cannot compete with the Petey's Pork Pie Emporium.
God, I'm very impressed that you were able to say all of that.
So, you guys don't have far to travel. Maybe a couple miles. Brulnies does put together some road beers, some road ale, and I don't know if you have a mount or not. If you do, you're welcome to ride it. If not, it's truly not a long walk. And as you guys set out together, headed towards this small town where this Petey's Pork Pie Emporium is located, you see a couple things along the way, an old rundown circus on the left, a few things on the right, some paths that lead out into the swamp and the wooded area, but you quickly come upon the town, and sure enough, it stands out like a sore thumb against the kind of wooded and cabined storefront area in the center of this little town. There is a much that's what I'm looking for. Much cleaner appearance to the front of the store. And in big, bold letters from a hanging sign, it says Petey's Pork Pie Emporium.
So, during the trip, Edgar would have definitely rocked out his kazoo if he was with everybody else and casually been playing the Ansko marching one by one.
I pull out two little finger bones and I start just tapping them together on my knee to go along with you.
You guys look like a small parade, as it sound like one as you guys come marching into town.
And Paul is like mimicking.
Smokeleaf would be like switching between drawing from his pipe and like singing extremely mumbly and extremely falsely along with them.
And coughing between trying to sing and smoke.
Yeah.
Just a group of high-level musicians.
Saying, but there's some kind of melody to it.
I love that. Awesome sauce. Yeah, and like I said, it is midday, so the town is bustling, at least for a town of this size, a few hundred people, and specifically, the Pork Pie Emporium seems to be packed with people. It's busy, waiters and waitresses of all kinds are running around, there's a hostess out front, yeah.
Kala makes that really impressed, like, kind of whistle sound, looking around at everything. They look like they've never seen anything like this. Just huge black eyes. And this big head is just whipping around, trying to take it all in,
because it is real busy. And out front, so one of the great things that I love that Rim does and why I love his models is he builds them so that you can random roll. He builds a lot of tables for NPCs and stuff. So the 35 you see on the screen, well, the 2 D8s that you see on the screen, are 3 and a 5, totaling 35. So, okay. She is out front busting a table. This young female halfling. Her eyes are kind of swollen and, she sounds a little congested. And she's like scrubbing a table and cleaning it. She wears a uniform for the Emporium.
What did the man say her name was again?
He said her name was Revley.
Okay, so in that man's sobbing voice, Kala repeats that bit about.
Oh, gotcha. The congested woman turns around. Like I said, her eyes, she's kind of like watering. She like rubs her nose, the worst restaurant thing ever. And she turns and she goes, I'm so sorry. I don't know why you're crying, but can you go elsewhere? I'm not feeling so good today.
Kala hands her a handkerchief.
Just in time for her to go and sneeze in it again.
Kala takes the little soup ladle around their neck and holds it out and does this and then makes a sound like a wood and a bunch of stuff rattling and banging.
She looks at you, sneezes again, and then looks at everybody else around and goes, if you want to see, you're gonna have to go see the hostess.
Is there a name tag on her uniform?
There sure is. She wears a name tag. Her name tag says Trista.
Okay. I'm gonna go to the hostess and ask her. Say we need a table for 6, and also, is there any place I can put these pamphlets?
Yes
What?
and yes. All right. Let's see. Just for the funsy of it, I'm gonna roll up another NPC 11. I'm glad these aren't my actual damage rolls, because wow. So at the hostess, I'll say this: at the host stand is an old male dwarf. He smiles at you, and when he smiles, you see that he has false teeth, all made of various kinds of rock. His name is Clemdiah. It's on his... God, Rem, you can't make this shit up. It's on his name tag, and he smiles, and he says, "Hi, I'm Clemdiah. Would you like a table for 5?
Yes. I would like a table for 5. Also, I'd love to put up these pamphlets. And secondly, where did you get those marvelous teeth?
He goes to the same place I got these here rocks, and he points down at his feet, and he says, "If you like that, you'll like to know I, in fact, am one of the rocks of the mountain down the road. It's my grandfather, the mountain."
All right, well, that's a lot weirder than I was expecting, to be honest. But, you know, hey, to each their own.
What, you don't think that dwarves come from rocks?
I'm going to be honest, you might be the first dwarf I've ever met, so if you tell me that, I probably will believe you, because I'm pretty scared of all your rock teeth.
He smiles and he goes, "You ever had sex with a rock?"
No, can't say that I've had sex with anything, especially not a rock.
Anything ever at all?
Edgar will be just.
I have, or at least I think I have.
Edgar will just be a laughing mess at this point. He doesn't know how to react to that.
He says, "Well, I can get you a table for 5. And he like waves somebody down. He says, "As for your brochures, you're gonna have to ask the manager, the shift manager." He says, and a old male tiefling comes over. He's graying at the ends of his horns. His color's not quite as vibrant as it used to be, but he carries himself very differently than the other 2 people that you've met. And when you see his face, you realize that the wall, kind of on the backside, that has the employees of the month, seems to be filled with his picture. His name tag reads Morgo.
What race was the female, by the way?
She was a halfling. Little
Question,
halfling like
Question real quick. In your estimation, would somebody with an intelligence of 6 actually be able to read? I know there's not a firm line.
Yeah,
but...
I would say at a 6, probably maybe pictures.
Okay.
And
So
you might be able to sound out employee of the month, maybe.
Okay.
What color hair did the young lass have?
Oh, it was just kind of a dark. She wore it in a braid.
Even so, Edgar would have been much more concerned with her well-being, being a fellow short individual.
Yeah.
And he would have tried to console her and be like, "Oh, you're doing a great job. Everything is okay. We'll be fine. Everything's."
She's like wiping tables and sniffing again. She's not sniffing because she's crying. She's sniffing because she clearly either is sick or has allergy problems. And she kind of like sneezes in your general direction. I'm so sorry. And she like wipes her snotty away again, goes right back to cleaning tables. Yeah, pretty gross. And she goes,
Edgar will.
"I'm gonna be fine. I'm just allergic to my cat."
Edgar will kind of like raise a single eyebrow and he'll be like, "Yes, well, you know, we'll just take a table."
So the dwarf realizes that you guys are ready for a table. He flags over this well-to-do tiefling, kind of posh, like I said, carries himself very well. And the tiefling comes over, his tail swishes from behind him, and he looks right at our brochure carrying necromancer. And he says, "If you would like to leave those, you can do so over there on our community wall. And he points to a bulletin board that is thick with pamphlets and posters and just all kinds of stuff. Corporate says that's the only place people are allowed to post things.
Yeah, and I go, I understand rules, and I go put up a couple of pamphlets up there. I don't spread them across because I'm not trying to be rude. I just kind of stack them all up on there, so if people want to take one, there's one.
Oh, I see. Yeah, you figure out a way to get a few up there.
Yeah.
There's a thumbtack or so. You leave a few behind.
Yeah. I think I've experienced hanging flyers to my Lich fathers because they would want people for the rituals and sacrifices and whatnot, and so we go out and do some community-driven stuff.
I just copy what he does. Exactly what he does, but with my own.
Yeah, but with with your own pamphlets. And you guys kind of posted about this time. The dwarf, you hear his teeth grind as he begins to speak again. He says, "Your table is ready." You realize that he is wearing rocks on his feet as well. He's hollowed out a couple rocks and he wears them. He clomps across the restaurant as he leads you in. So let me tell you a little bit about what you're seeing here in the Emporium. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, Kala is follows and copies the sound that his rocks make as they follow,
making it twice as loud. It's like super distracting. You guys walk also the entirety of the dining room. So basically, what you walked into was like a waiting area where there's like a, where the host would be. And he leads you all five through a small door into a dining room. The dining room itself has several wooden tables, chairs, and booths. Pretty average. It is relatively low lit. There's a fire that crackles near what you can assume is the kitchen wall, which in this case is directly across from you as you walk in. It's on the far side. Excuse me. There's a chandelier with candles that hangs from the ceiling, and a varying bunch of servers, including the little sniffly woman who was busting tables, move back and forth. There are menus already at the table when you sit down. They seem to have 5 items. There are 4 specials and some sides. And the dwarf says, "Your waiter will be with you shortly." And he clomps off.
Kala sits down and then makes the sound of the clomping fading away.
Yeah, as he leaves. It doesn't take long. You guys can kind of flip through the menu. Oh no, it's not Winky! I rolled Winky? Oh my god, Rim. Okay, Winky is Rim's regular character he plays on this channel. I can't believe this. Okay. You guys sit for a little bit. You flip over the menu. The menu says the 4 specials are Old Grizzle Fingers, the Triple Bob, the Pretty Wrecker, and the Tar Squaw. And there seems to be some sides as well. The Grizzle Fingers is smoked rack of rims with mustard cream, marinated in mustard cream. There's a pork pie drizzled with vinegar and basted with some flump jelly. I don't know how I feel about that. That's my favorite critter. There are 3 kebab skewers with honey braised pork and veggies and sinberries. The hell is a sinberry? Stewed veggies served on rice with pineapple-topped ham slices and a variety of sides like squash and fried pickles and fried potatoes and fried chicken and fried everything, if you can fry it.
That sinberry sounds real good.
I will just copy whatever the person in front of me says.
Well, it's about this time that an extremely rotund gnome comes walking up. Or, wait, no, wait, let me see. Is Winky a halfling? He's a halfling, isn't he? I always get him backwards. Winky. He is a halfling. So this young male halfling with this bushy red hair and all these curls kind of fits like a fro. He is, I say rotund, he's fat. Winky is just big halfling. And he talks up here and he comes up and he says, "Hi, everybody. Can I take your order?" My name's Winky. I should have said that first. Damn it, I'm gonna fail today's test.
And I just go, hey, don't be too hard on yourself. Everyone's just out here trying and having a good time, and I'm so excited. I'm gonna be honest, it's my first time being to what you refer to as a restaurant. So I think you're doing great. And then I said, I think that sinberry dish sounds really tasty.
Oh yeah, of course. The what was on our menu? I know our specials. Today's specials are, the bobs. You want the triple bob with the pork and the veggies and the cinberries.
Yeah. That sounds perfect.
For the record, his description literally says he sounds like he's going through puberty. It literally, all it says about Winky is fat, cowardly, and dim-witted. He talks like he's going through puberty. Hyperventilates when women touch him. I love this character so much. He goes, oh, okay, anybody else for the triple bob?
Kala kind of raises a hand.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll have the special with as strong of a drink as you guys have here.
Oh, we don't serve alcohol here, sir.
Then give me some good old-fashioned water on the rocks.
Okay, water on rocks.
Oh no.
I lean over and say that I took a few to-go drinks from the other.
Oh yeah, you like lean over. You're like, I got pocket beers. Yeah. And Winky looks to the rest of the table. Does anybody want to? Should I just a round of bobs for the table?
Pork pie.
Got nods, mostly because he can't read the. He'd probably order a bob because that's the only thing he could pronounce. So.
Pork pie. Pork pie, and he kind of writes it down. Make sure that you guys don't want or need anything else. And he kind of bustles off in a waddle. Last chance to order anything from Winky if you want it.
Yeah, Smokey's like, just before he heads off, he's gonna like snap out from zoning out on the menu, take like one last draw from his pipe and be like, two of everything.
He like stops and turns, on his little chunky heels. Okay. And he goes, oh, and he like bustles back to, I don't know why he sounds like Morty now, over, back into the kitchen to put your order in. You see he's too short and fat to actually reach the place where the ticket goes, so he's kind of like jumping, trying to reach it, and eventually it like sticks. And a hand comes out and grabs it and begins processing, your order. Winky, doesn't take him long to come back with water with rocks in it, and, you guys now have water with rocks in it at the table. It seems like a pretty normal restaurant.
Colin's looking around, definitely, like just taking this in because it's very, very new. But when they see the kitchen, they pull out the soup ladle and make that wood and something else rattling sound again, and you hear an old man's voice. Rattle the drawers, and rattling happens a couple more times, and they're doing this over the table, like
rotund.
very solemnly, like it's some sort of ritual, and then sit back down and take the water with rocks in it and kind of pour a little in the beak.
Okay. Yeah.
Are there any like?
Literally...
Oh, wait, hang on. I think I heard Joel first. You go, Joel. We'll just go around and get everybody's questions or stuff.
Oh no, I wasn't saying anything.
Oh, okay. So it was Ninja and Birdie.
Okay, so Ed will literally get his water with rocks in it, and look at the kid, and be like, "I like your moxie, kid," and then he'll take a drink.
A kid? I'm a halfling. Man, okay. He comes back, refills water. Your food will be right out.
Yeah, I think Hugh's just kind of like looking at. He takes some of the rocks out of his glass and he's looking at the host, and like Hugh's kind of like looking at the rocks and like putting them in his mouth, seeing if they feel right. Like just being like, I don't know, maybe this is a good idea.
What about our other two here in the crew? What are you guys up to?
Are there any like potted plants, big frond, like whatever potted plants that might be within
Oh,
reach?
I would say for sure. This seems to be a pretty corporatized place, so I don't know if they're real plants, but there are definitely greenery.
Gak would have never encountered a fake plant before, so he's gonna reach over and like pull one out and start munching on it.
Good news, it is real. It is a real plant. Like a fern or something, some kind of succulent that needs very little care. But it's dusty. It's got a little dust on the exterior.
He's just gonna be like munching on it, like stripping off bits, and then just start very slowly. And he's people watching basically as he's sitting there, chewing on the frond. Yeah.
Very nice. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, Smokeleaf's like taking like at least 2 minutes to intently stare at everything in the restaurant. Like first at the chandelier, then at the windows, and at the table, and at the other people. And when he's done, he's gonna be like, "This is a nice place."
Nice. Yeah, you take it. It takes you a while. There's a lot going on, as I think our Kinko is realizing it's a busy place. This Emporium. About this time, you guys share your drinks. You eat a plant. You hang out. Oh, before Winky gets back, let's have just a general perception roll from the group. You're gonna pick up on some just general things on your own, but let's get one as well, just to be on the safe side.
Just as an FYI, I took the observant feat.
Oh, nice. Okay, so you basically get everything. is the answer. Perception rolls from the group. Remember, you can totally roll IRL die. Just call your answer out to me. Cool. Nope. Okay. Well.
Yeah, I got a 14.
A 14.
I rolled a 13.
And what did I get from you, James?
21.
A 21. All right. So, the rest of this space. So you walked in from the waiting room. There's a kitchen at the far end, but there are also a series of doors in this space as well. Unmarked, but basically from where you're sitting, all these doors are off on your right. There seem to be two doors separate from one another, probably leading into a closet of some kind, possibly, or a smaller room like an office. And then you see that there are two double sets of doors that lead into the kitchen. You know, one for in, one for out, basically.
Okay.
Definitely keeping an eye on the kitchen.
Yeah.
All seems interesting.
Okay. Every time the door swings open, you can see it seems to be pretty normal. They're back there cooking. Nothing. Let's see. 13. When the door swings for the kitchen, do you notice anything?
Well, I have a passive of 15.
Oh, okay. So I was about to say, well, with the passive 18, you see the usual: stoves, grills, smokers. There seem to be some things hanging from the ceiling, probably curing or getting ready to be used. Cooks and people out there are shouting commands. But your eyes notice a flight of stairs that lead, which lets you know that there's a second floor to this place.
Interesting. Definitely curious about that.
Yes, go ahead.
I will point towards the office doors, you said. Be like, what goes on behind those doors?
Winky stumbles up and drops all the food, which is a lot, since you ordered double plates of everything on top of other stuff. It barely fits on the table. He drops everything, along with the check. Most of the restaurant seems to be kind of clearing out. You guys came at like an off hour for eating. It's like between dinner and lunch. You keep your eye on the two doors. At the 21, one of them has a sign on it. It's hard to read from afar because it's really small. It just says storage closet. The other one says Petey on it. Petey. Petey.
Who's Petey?
Winky uses this as an opportunity to potentially move up the corporate food chain. He turns and goes, every Porcupines Emporium has a Petey, which is our manager. Petey is here to assure great customer service, and that's his office. Do you have a complaint you'd like to bring to our manager?
Yeah, you're too good of a server, and then I wink at him.
He goes, oh. He blushes.
Since you just dropped my food on the floor, yeah, actually I would.
I'm so sorry. Oh, okay. Oh my. And he kind of like hustle bustles over and like knocks on the door, and then he goes, wait a second. As if he probably wasn't supposed to do that. He's a bit of a dunce. And when he knocks on the door, the Petey appears. In this case, just a human. This is the first human that you've seen. A bit of the upper food chain of this place, clearly. When the door swings open, you can see that it's a small room, could not be more than 10 by 10 max. And there's a desk in it full of cabinets and paperwork. Like, there's paperwork on the desk, there's stuff on the walls, there's bulletin boards. It seems like a pretty normal office. Yeah. And Winky, like, oh, you hear his voice say something to the manager, and the manager's eyes dart over to your table.
So wait, our food is on the floor, right?
Some of it, just what didn't fit on the table.
Yeah. I'm not a prude. I'm just like picking up some stuff on the floor and eating. I'm still just enjoying myself. I really
You're
like
washing
being
it
in a
down with your
restaurant.
pocket beer.
Yeah. Yeah.
My character, unfortunately, is rather upset that his food is on the floor, or even a small bit of it is on the floor.
The manager walks
I'm going
over.
to point at... Okay.
Just know that he's coming your direction, so he's just kind of walking your way. He's got to cross, so you're good to take action or whatever.
Okay. I'll point at the food that's on the floor. That makes it free, right?
About this time, the manager, makes it to you, and he says, unfortunately, we do not have a policy for replacing food that finds its way to the floor.
Yeah, I just as I'm picking up like a big thing with like a grin, I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna be honest, this is just I think this tastes better.
Are you saying, sir, that our food is better served from the floor?
Apparently that's what you intended it to be, so yeah, you did a great job.
He clearly is frustrated and swallows. He says, if you would prefer, that chute, and he points to a much smaller door off to the side. It's not even on the same side of this room as the offices and stuff. That door is our slop chute. You can feed your food to the pigs if you prefer.
So will I be getting a replacement then?
A replacement. Let me go talk to the kitchen staff. And he kind of clops off. Other than the hostess, which is in a separate room, and a single waiter, which is busting tables, there don't seem to be a whole lot of staff on the floor at the moment.
Paula is eating a bunch of the food, some of it off the floor. So really don't seem to make any difference. Sometimes using hands.
Sure.
No, actually, sorry, they are using very good table manners. Yeah.
Oh yes.
Very proper table manners. And if anybody in their immediate vicinity has bad table manners, he will get a little smack and a reminder in an old woman's voice of mind your manners, dear.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
Smokeleaf is definitely just picking up the plate and eating whatever he can off of it and chucking it to the side and moving on to the next.
Yeah.
And as soon as anyone touches him, he's gonna growl at them intently.
So Ed will be he's very particular about his food, and he doesn't appreciate it being dropped on the floor. So anything that was delivered onto the table, he'll happily eat. However, everything that was on the floor, he would expect to be either replaced or to be comped or something of that nature.
Sure. And the good news is, I mean, the manager didn't say no. He just said he needed to check with the kitchen staff in terms of. He just hasn't returned. You don't know what his final plan is. But he did, kind of leave you guys. To, I guess, your own demises. There seem to be about 3 or 4 other tables of people. Other than that, like I said, it's an off hour, so it's slow. It's a slow time for eating.
And did we see any other halflings in the?
Not to your naked eye. The other it seems to be kind of a hodgepodge. They don't seem to have like a specific type, I guess, for like waiters and those kind of things. There is another dwarf, and a few other like humans, and there's a half elf that's helping in the back in the kitchen. But in terms of like more halflings, not necessarily. There's a male halfling, but no female.
Yeah, it kind of just clicks with Hugh after I'm filled up that like we came here to look for Remley, and so I think I'm gonna call the waiter back over.
Winky.
Yeah, Winky.
What can I get you?
I meant to ask you, is Remley working, or is there maybe a regular guest of the establishment?
Remley. I don't know, Remley. Maybe she's just on a different shift. Hang on. And he waddles back into the office of the manager, the Petey office. And you hear him scuffle around, and he comes back out with a piece of paper in hand. And he goes, I don't see a Remley on the schedule, but I don't know if it's of interest to you, but this was posted on his desk next to the schedule. And it seems to be a corporate memo. It says corporate memo at the top.
Okay.
Winky goes, I'm gonna go now. Your friend seems mad at me that I dropped all the food. Okay, bye! And he like clump, waddles off. And when you look at the memo, it's almost like a half page, like literally just a little memo, that says, urgent news for the bride-to-be. Remley Starnell from corporate. Send her downstairs upon arrival.
Oh, okay. I show the rest of the group, and then, because one of you can't read, right?
Well, I'm still trying to like figure out what it says up at the top, the corporate memo part.
I mean,
I'm very obviously mulling over that part, like kind of looking over your shoulder.
Yeah, I see your struggle, and I don't want to make you feel bad, so I'll like help you, read along, pointing and like sounding out the words. I'm definitely all
how
about,
sweet.
Yeah, and I'm just like, just remember, necromancers are here to help, spread knowledge, and reading is the base of all knowledge. And yeah, so I read out the memo, and we show everybody that.
So you guys all know now this memo came out of the manager's office.
Ed will be singing a song in Gnomish. As time has passed, he's become slightly bored. So he'll be singing a tune in Gnomish about, time being wasted, being unfavorable, and things of that sort. So that's...
Okay.
And we've seen the stairs that go down, or
there's a flight of stairs that what you managed to peer through. It came from the kitchen, so it was like when the door swings open, what you could catch quickly. There's a flight of stairs that lead up in the kitchen, and then basically what you see here, which is there, is some kind of supply closet, a door that has no markings on it, which is next door to the Petey's office.
Okay.
I tell the group, I'm like, listen, I know that there's a lot of bad things about necromancy, but my 7 lich fathers taught me that some good things of like noticing creepy stuff, and I'm gonna go ahead and say, unlisted doors, usually where they hide evil ass shit at.
I don't want to share this.
Ed will literally be in the middle of his song and be like, literally don't care, in Gnomish, and then realize that he probably has to translate, so he'll probably be like, literally don't care, again in common.
Oh yeah.
He'll be like, whatever works for the rest of you. And he'll work that into his tune as he kind of goes on to tell the tale of the lunch that was dropped on the floor.
The dead lunch. The tale of the dead lunch and the necromancer. For those of you at home, I adore Rem's art. It's one of my favorite things in the whole world. It's just so I don't give a fuck, which is why I love it. So I'm gonna be showing a few pieces of the art from this, not all of it, but this is one of the Porky Pie Emporium staff. They're on screen. I don't have it. You guys will have to go to the actual Twitch to see it, but it's so brilliant. I just love it. So there they are in all their glory. This one with the sock, I don't even know who he is, but I want to play him forever on this sock puppet. Anyways,
sock puppets are awesome.
Does anybody want to take any major action before the manager comes back?
I think Kala will have finished the meal, neatly put everything away, and then quietly tried to sneak into the kitchen.
Okay, you want to try to sneak into the kitchen. All right, that's going to be a much harder roll. Does anybody want to do anything else before I have her roll for the sneak into the kitchen?
I'm gonna notice that she's trying to sneak around, and so I'm gonna, after having my meal, I'm gonna go to kind of the front to draw people's attention away from the kitchen, and then start to just talk about how great necromancy is and how many good things it can do for you, and how there's a really bad rap, but my 7 lich fathers showed me the way.
So you guys
Edgar will also then be perhaps twerking on after having had some drinks at Bonus's place.
Yeah.
Somewhat drunk, but not totally drunk. But he'll be singing a song of great glory and wonderful things that could happen.
Are you trying to do something with the song, or are you just singing because you sing?
No, I'm singing because I can sing.
I love it.
But he's totally being distracting.
Okay, so it is for distracting purposes. Okay.
Yes.
So here's what I'm going to do. Because you have 2 distractions going on, you need to know the kitchen is full of staff. It is going to be, unless you can go invisible, it's going to be extremely hard not to be seen. With their distraction, I am going to give you advantage on it, but it is going to have to be a high roll.
As you're leaving, Gak will reach over and just kind of pat your shoulder and mutter something about walking in the light, and he will cast guidance on you.
Oh, nice.
Oh, sweet.
So
right,
that's what, an extra 4? Or yeah, I was about to say add another D4. Oh, nice. Yep. Okay. Yeah. Okay,
right,
add a
so
24.
You can add a D4 to anyone. Yeah.
Okay, so 24 total. Okay, that's actually a pretty good roll. You guys watch as she slinks into the shadows around the corner. The manager actually comes out back towards the table. And when he pushes the door open, she slips past him into the kitchen. On your way, you see a sign on the kitchen door that clearly states you're not supposed to be back here. It says, actually, it's such a good, he put it on here, intruders. It just says no non-employees allowed, the sign says. Right there, vivid on the door, she bloops in. Cutting back, the manager comes back to the table. He states, "We will be covering the cost of your lunch. We are sorry for any inconvenience and the fact it ended up on the floor." Anything else I can do for you?
Yeah, because I'm not at the table. I'm still just spreading the good word.
Spreading the good word around. There's very few people here, but you at least are going to the ones you can.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Please wrangle your friend. This is a no soliciting zone." And he turns and goes back to his office.
Ed'll have heard this and be singing the praises and glory of the people who serve good food and greatness. It'll be a very, very general song about how food is sacred and how glorious it is and all those things. So.
Okay.
That's what he's doing.
Okay. Well, the good news is, even with the kitchen staff, they seem to be busy, and they don't actually notice you when you first enter. Between all the high tabletops and the cutting and the steam in the room, and they don't at the moment notice you, but they will roll regularly to see you. When you enter the space into the kitchen, you see a few things. First things first, the kitchen is an L shape. So, okay, you have come in, if it's an L shape, you've come in on this side of the room. Here, there seems to be another, or it seems to be where the flight of stairs are. Around the corner seems to be more of a preparation station, and probably supplies, like additional kitchen supplies. But the stairs, you are very, very near the stairs.
Okay. Kala will just sort of quietly be making the ambient noise of the kitchen.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Like repeating that sound, almost just kind of, you know, I think they do it almost instinctively. And just sort of stay against the wall, kind of slip into the kitchen.
Yep.
Dip a couple of people, and just right up and into the staircase.
Okay.
And they just act as if they belong there.
So for the lot of you sitting out in the dining room, she doesn't come back for a while. No guards have been called, but she's not come back. I actually made a mistake. The stairs do go down. So as the stairs go down, and you kind of quickly take them down, you find you're greeted with what is probably the curing room. Halves of slaughtered pigs hang from meat hooks off the ceiling, and the floor reeks of sticky blood and iron. A stairway, there seems to be another stairwell that leads, like, into the kitchen, obviously. There seems to be a south door, though you can't tell a whole lot about it. It seems to be locked. And that's about it. Maybe a supply closet, another supply closet down here. But that's basically what you see at the moment.
All right, I'm gonna look around.
Okay.
Room.
The one door is locked, but you can probably easily get into the supply closet. You peek in, pretty average stuff. Dirt, buckets of fresh blood, carving knives, extra meat hooks. The pretty usual. It looks usual. The one that you can't get into is the, there seems to be some kind of locked office door. You're welcome to break it or try to pick it. So I would need a sleight of hand dexterity if you wanted to pick it, or you can try to make an athletics check to break it. Everybody else outside, what do you guys do while she works on that? What do you? Because I mean, it's gone quiet, and basically, Winky keeps hovering. It's time for you all to leave.
So Ed will be literally singing a decrescendo as he goes down the stairs to follow her. So like,
Oh, you're okay. So you know that you have to go into the kitchen, and it clearly states you're not supposed to be back there. So if you sing anywhere near that, you're gonna be stopped. She snuck into the back kitchen.
Okay. So I guess in that case, I would go back into the room and then start singing another song of long lost love and love being found where unexpected, things like that. And I'll start doing that then, to hopefully give everybody else a chance to escape. I will even go so far as to, provided the person who stopped me is of the opposite gender. I imagine probably not, but if they are, or you know.
So basically, so help me out. What you're trying to do is sneak into the kitchen, or are you just trying to walk into the kitchen?
Well, I was just gonna walk in there.
Okay.
But if someone's gonna stop me, I'll start singing broadly and loudly, and give them, more of an incentive to listen to the song by, lightly stroking their arm at
Okay.
a particular part of the song, or if they're of the opposite gender, gently stroking just the bottom of their neck,
Okay.
to the side of the neck, to their chin.
What is your intent here? What are you trying to actually do?
My intent here is to distract.
Okay, you just want to distract the person. Okay, then I need you to actually roll the roll that distraction. In this case, because you're not trying to really deceive them, because you're not trying to slip in. Let me think through that. You could just make a general charisma check if you wanted, or a performance check, because you're just performing. But you've already distracted them in terms of the person getting in. So if nobody's trying to slip in, there is no distraction. You're just performing.
Sure.
What is everybody else up to?
Oh, damn it. I rolled a natural one.
The nat one. You try to kind of start walking toward the kitchen. It is, in fact, another worker who stops you, one with a sock puppet on his hand. He puts it hard on your chest and says, "Sir, I'm sorry, this is an employee-only section. You cannot be here. Even if you are gently stroking my arm and singing songs."
I imagine I even trip.
Face planted to his chest. He realizes you're probably a little drunk. He smells Brulnice's booze on you. And he waves to your table to come over and get you, because clearly, you're causing a distraction. So he waves for somebody to come over from your table. What do the other three of you do? He has your friend in arms, basically.
The entire time that Ed has been singing, Smokeleaf has been throwing food down his goblet and smoking on the pipe at the same time, and singing along with him with food and smoke in his mouth at the same time.
Yeah.
Just extremely clumsily. So when he sees him at the kitchen, finally, it's probably going to take 2 or 3 minutes. He's going to walk over, still singing with him, clumsily pick him up and start carrying him around, singing with him and whatever.
Yeah. Okay. You help in getting him back on track. You are currently very you guys, like I said, you're very full. You have plenty of food. You didn't eat anywhere near how much food you've ordered. What about our other two? What is our great? You're still going around, Necromancer, spreading the good word.
There's a manager's office and there's an unmarked door, but both of those are through the kitchen, right?
No, those are actually in the dining room. The manager went back to his. Actually, let me show you guys this. I can show you guys a map. Well, kind of. I can show you at least on the main screen. So keep talking, and I'll kind of point to some things.
Because what I was trying to do is, because I know one person's in the kitchen and then he just failed, but I'm very curious about this unmarked door, and so I want to just try to go over there and try to see if it's open at first.
Okay.
And
it's not going to take at least a whole lot not to be seen, because like I said, it's slowed down, so you don't have as many people on the floor. So why don't I just get this sleight of hand to pick it, which is just a dexterity. If you want to try to pick it, it is locked.
Oh, I did not type in the command. You know what? I can just pull up. There we go. Oh, yeah, I definitely did not pick that lock with the 4.
You definitely did not pick that lock. You do manage to look through the keyhole. It seems to be another dining room, a more private dining room. Possibly a private, rentable place. But it's empty at the moment. Nobody's dining in it, and there's no table settings on it.
All right. I make it the way back to the group and let them know that it does seem like there is a special dining room. It's locked in there. It seems a little mysterious, but and then also to get when we saw that there was a second floor, is that through the kitchen?
That's through the kitchen. Okay. Correct. That's through the kitchen. So let me now that this is a perfect place, and then I'm gonna move over and we're gonna see what our Kinku does to pick that lock. So go ahead, if you didn't, go ahead and roll that sleight of hand 2. So let me pop this window capture open. So you guys can see, here's a little, I'm going to blow it up a little bit, so I'm going to block some of your faces momentarily. This is why I love Rim and his style. Here's a cool little map, sees, of the space. You guys came in through this waiting room and into the dining room. You can see, Petey's office is where the manager came out. Yeah, you guys basically, or she entered through the first set of doors there on that shared wall, or that double set of doors into the kitchen. The stairs that she saw are where the pies are. She's down in the curing room, which is like a second floor, and the supply closet down there is what she's kind of in at the moment, or that you can see. She has not rounded the corner to the kitchen, so you guys haven't seen any of the like southern side of the kitchen and the pig pen.
All right. What are the outfits that everyone's wearing? Are there uniforms that everyone's wearing?
Good question. There are uniforms. They seem to all be wearing a matching like apron. Based upon just your time here, they do seem to be a bunch of them on a wall.
Okay.
Hanging on a wall.
I kind of like get everyone's attention silently in the group. That's like, and then just kind of like motion over to like the uniforms and maybe some extra name tags that are laid around.
Yeah, sure. That would be another sleight of hand to like kind of slip it on and get it. Do you want to bring them all back to the table, or are you just grabbing one for yourself?
I'm gonna grab one for myself first, but hoping that like the rest of the party kind of sees what I'm doing and picks up on it, because I'm not too roguish. I got a 10 to try to just grab one for me.
It's not very smooth. You go to slip it off, you like look back at your crew, and it gets caught on the hook. It's definitely not a smooth grab at all. But you managed to get, there aren't really any name tags necessarily, but there are tons of extra aprons. So you're able to grab the uniform apron, no problem. And bring enough back. Actually, there are 6 of them on the wall, so there's enough for one for each of you, if you wanted to actually take them. Yeah.
If I can manage to do that, I'll get them, and then I'm just like, hey, it looks like we all just got hired for some part-time work.
Yeah, I love that.
At the moment, I imagine, like, since Smokeleaf has gone over to like pick up Ed, I imagine the 2 of them are just like causing complete chaos in the kitchen, just like stumbling around with the arms over each other's shoulders and just like singing.
Yeah, the guy with the sock puppet is trying to get you guys away from the kitchen. You guys have not entered the kitchen yet. He's stopped him in the door and was sending him back out to you. You were like stopped. He was making way too much noise singing and stuff because you guys weren't employees. You can't enter the kitchen area.
Yeah, but wherever we are, I imagine we're just like drunkenly swaying around, making as much noise as possible. Like, Smokeleaf at least is not noticing at all what's going on near the table.
Right, which is probably a good thing too. It was enough of a distraction that he could actually snag what you needed. The employee finally gets you guys back to the table, staggering, drunk, swaying. And she goes, if you would politely leave. And she like turns, her apron swishes, and she heads back to the kitchen. There are only about 2 tables left with actual people at them. You can hear the dwarf out front tapping his giant stone foot as he waits impatiently because it's a slow time at a restaurant.
I say to Smokeleaf, I ask if I could borrow a little bit of his good stuff to maybe offer to the hosts. I mean, just tell him like, hey, you should maybe go take a smoke break. I can tell you're having a real tough day.
Oh, of course, sharing is caring, as they say. I don't remember who said that, but someone definitely said it. So he's gonna take like a pipe in the shape of a dragon, like hanging around his neck with like a rope. And he's gonna take it off, and he's just gonna hand it to Joel, or
old Hugh-Man.
Hugh-Man.
You yeah, go ahead.
My character will be drunk enough at this point, perhaps, that he'll be like, "Isn't it grand? Isn't it lovely?" And he'll throw an arm around the probably waste of whoever is serving them.
I was about to say, there's nobody. I was about to say, nobody's serving you at this point. It's just you guys.
Sorry?
It's just all of you at this point. They've left you to your own devices, except for the guy at the front. The entirety of this restaurant's clearing out. It's almost empty, except for all of you who continue to not take the hint that you need to leave.
Yeah, well, I'll be singing anyway.
Yeah, hey, sing away. I'm not gonna stop you from singing.
Yeah, I go offer the pipe because now I'm in like I have my outfit on to make it look like I'm working, and so I'm just like, hey man, before shift change, safety meeting out back, haha, and just hand him the pipe and the weed, and I tell him like, you got this. I'm gonna go bust some tables and I'll bring it all back to the kitchen.
So is that your plan? You're gonna go talk to the dwarf and like get him out of the way?
Yeah, I'm trying to just get him.
Yeah, you walk up. He looks at you and smiles with his rocky teeth. You hear him grind as he grins. And out of somewhere, you hear you hear that voice go, "Oh, can I come?" Winky peeks around the corner.
Yeah, I just go, oh yeah, but everyone's welcome. This one's on, your new coworker and friend.
Oh, you got hired! Congratulations.
Yeah, I like I said, this is my first time in a restaurant. I loved it so much, I'd never want to leave.
They snatch both the pipe and the grain from you and walk out the front door, and you can see them through the windows, go around to the back. It is now, there is no host, only a single buster, in the main area. And you all have aprons, so you now seem to blend a little bit better. You're welcome to attempt the kitchen again. Speaking of kitchen, we cut. Our Kinku is actively trying to pick the lock. Did we got that roll from you, didn't we? Yes. Okay, at a 14.
Yeah, they have a bunch of, around their waist, there's a bunch of homemade pockets.
I love that.
And in the pockets are a variety of kitchen implements. So when they go to pick the lock, they pull out a bunch of little things, those tiny specialized forks and knives and things that you have for things. You use that to try and pick the lock.
Okay. Yeah, you, Jimmy. It takes you a second, and you have to try over and over. And you hear it click as the sound of your four friends begin. You hear footsteps, basically, behind you, entering the kitchen. The sound of song rings through into the kitchen, something that is very, very different. The kitchen staff greets all of you with strange looks as the four of you enter with your aprons on, but you have the uniforms, so they don't really question it, but you get the looks of I've not seen any of them before.
Yeah.
That
employee discount was too tempting.
They all stare at you. One guy stirs a stew with a sock puppet on. They don't seem very happy to be here. This doesn't seem like a very happy place to be working. And you can see that there is a door just to your, as you walk through, there's one just down, to your left, that stands open, where you can only rightfully assume hides your little Kiku. But it looks like a normal kitchen. Nothing strange about it. It looks like a kitchen that makes meat pies.
And people with sock puppets.
And people with socks puppets. Gotta do what you can to cope, right? So, when you finally click the lock open, and it takes you a while, literally it's taking you this whole time, there is something important behind this door, and you go, and finally you hear it click, just in time for you to hear your friends kind of eek in behind you. And I'm gonna move us forward, gang, so that we can just get to the story, because I don't want us to run too short on time, or keep you too far over. And when you open it up, the smell is what hits your nostrils. It is awful. Awful. The smell of just pigs and sty and feces smack, because you found the door to the fenced-in area of the pig pen. Let's actually see how many pigs are in here. There are 12 pigs in this pen at the moment. They root and snort around like pretty much normal pigs and boars do. It's very, very muddy. There's also a little shack off in the back corner. Very clumsily made wooden tin roof. That there's a very ransacked door that remains closed on it, but it's on the opposite side of the pig pen. And all of you stand there staring out at 12 pigs.
Kala will just walk out into it, mimicking the pig noises. And
They seem to snort with you.
yeah, and just casually, calmly, walking across to the shed,
Okay.
making pig noises the whole way.
I'm gonna roll an investigation, just to kind of. I'm not really phased by any of the smell or anything in this. I feel like this is probably not the pig smell per se, but having a bunch of lich necromancer fathers, probably a lot of weird sacrifice and gross stuff that I've smelled before. So I'm just gonna try to start like seeing if we can find any. I'm looking for like trap doors or maybe like any hidden things like that.
Good
because
call.
especially with them saying like sending her downstairs, I'm just wondering. Maybe there's a special pork pie that we don't get to know.
Yeah, sure. This is actually a good guess. So you,
I got an 8.
okay. Well, the good news is it's not really they're not trying to hide it in the shack. Inside you see your average shovels and garden hose. And you're gonna need anybody that wants to investigate can roll an investigation to see if you can find more. But at the 8, you don't really see anything other than just tools.
Let's see.
Anybody on investigation?
Ooh,
I'm not going
I
to
got
be
a
like
12.
looking for something specifically, but I'm definitely going to be like looking at everything intently.
Intently, yeah.
Not
You go
like-
around.
Yeah, not like digging around in the soil or anything. Just
All right. Yeah. No.
I imagine he has, like, when he does open his eyes, like, I just imagine him having these sort of half-slitted eyes all the time, and when he looks at stuff, his eyes, like, open way up into giant and it's
they
like,
just
and then he's
glow
like,
bright red.
and then he's like, it's just funny.
So, it'll definitely probably, since he's kind of been a nomad his whole life, he'll probably, notice any slight difference in smell or anything. So he'll roll an investigation check, which he rolls a 10 plus or character sheet.
Say I will.
Anybody make a 15?
So that's a 14. I'm sorry.
All right. So with a
-1.
I rolled
14.
2 numbers. I'm not sure which is the right one.
Okay, the first number is the one that okay, so here's what I was going to say. So good news. Well, with the -1, you don't really see anything. It's just dark.
Nope.
I was gonna give all of you, in this case, an advantage on it because the 14's pretty close. But maybe it's because you're taking so long staring at things, as you go around between you and the bard. You guys kind of sift through, almost bumping into one another. You realize that there is a secret entrance, a trapdoor of some kind, that is found. There is a giant padlock on it, and you will need, this is not something you can just pick, you're going to need a set of thieves' tools. So anybody that's got a set is welcome to roll that sleight of hand. I just don't know, I can't remember if we have a rogue in the group. I think we did. Anybody?
I have not.
Nope. That is going to be the only way you get through this one, unless you want to try to break it, and it's going to take a really big strength check to try to break through the door, and you can't do it quietly. That's for sure.
So what was it that you needed for the sleight of hand check?
You're going to have a set of thieves' tools to pick this one because it's an actual padlock.
Okay, yeah, I don't.
So you're welcome to try to break it if you want to try to get through, but it is they are hiding something behind it because it is solid.
Yeah, I'll try to break it with my -1 strength.
Do it.
I'm looking at my.
I got a 9.
I'll try to break it. I have a +1.
Okay.
I'll try to break it. I doubt I'm gonna make it because
You guys must be
That's
all
my luck.
charisma-based characters.
So a 9 + 1. I imagine a 10 doesn't work.
No, you guys are basically pounding away at this door, like.
I
After
have
seeing the
5
two of
strength,
them,
but
Uh-huh.
unless
Okay.
someone asks him, Smokeleaf is not going to exert that much energy on a door.
Got it. Okay.
after seeing the two of them try, Doc will move up and see what he can do.
Okay. Yeah,
I'm not-
give it a shot. Hey, that is what we needed to break through it. Holy crap, holy! Maybe they
Nice.
weakened it for you. Maybe you're just so done with this shack
Yeah,
and being this
who
close.
needs to read whenever you got brute strength?
That's right. And
That's usually how he deals with
you
things.
smash straight through it. In this case, it's not ripping it open because literally you can't do anything about the padlock. What you do is you break a hole in the top of this like 3x3
Takes
trapdoor.
his quarterstaff and just beats it.
Yeah,
straight down.
yeah, and you start breaking away at it. It is not quiet in any sense of the word, but you're able to pry it back and make an opening for all of you. And you can see that there's a ladder that leads down.
As soon as it's open, Kala will just scurry down.
Yeah, I follow.
You scurry away, and when you reach the bottom, you've hit kind of a new area. And something strange, in particular, like stands out to you, which is that there's another office down here. It's marked. It says Petey's office, just like the one upstairs.
Kala points to it, and in the voice of the initial person who explained it to us, says Petey's. and then points upstairs and says Petey's. And then points at this again and says Petey's. And then goes.
So Ed'll come along and then like tap her on the shoulder and be like, "Do you talk like normally?" He'll be kind of confused.
They echo, "Do you talk like normally?" Exactly in his voice.
I love that. And as this happens, you realize this door is not locked. There's no lock on the door here. Do you guys open? Or I guess it doesn't seem to be locked.
I want to try to like, because I was able to like look through the keyhole upstairs, and so I was like, since I realized these keyholes are big enough, I'm gonna like, tell everyone like, to be silent, and then try to look in to see if anyone is actually inside of the office. And if you want, I can roll a check.
Okay. No, you're able to like kind of peer through. It seems to be a larger office. This one is desk, paperwork, but strangely enough, let me see. You know what? Hang on. Oh crap, always. There is a pig inside this office. It's on all fours. It snorts like a pig. It looks like a pig. It wears clothing.
I'm so excited.
And it's about this, you like pull away and you're like, was that pig wearing clothes? You like go back in for a second. Sure hell enough, this pig is in clothes. It wears a name tag. It seems to potentially be a manager of this establishment. At least it's dressed like one.
I love it. I tell everyone, I'm just like, there's a pig in clothing in there that has like a little name tag, like they work here. And so I don't know, even if they are murdering people and put them in pies, this might be so adorable that we can't be mad at them.
I go in and I look at the little pig.
When you swing the door open, the pig snorts, like looks at all of you, and begins kind of ruddering around on the ground. It's walking about on all fours like a pig. Everybody can roll me an insight check, if you would like.
Okay.
Oh, we lost someone. Bear with cameras. When he gets back, I'm sure they will readjust themselves. I'll move them about. If we don't get it back, then...
I got 12 on insight.
Oh,
Same
wait,
here.
I've got this one. Let's see.
12.
19.
Oh.
Nice.
That ain't no pig. I don't know if it's because you have some kind of innate interest in animals or because you pick up on the way things communicate, this humanity piece of things. It looks like a pig and it snorts like a pig, but it is way more sentient than a pig.
Kala is kind of leans way in, puts this big black beady eye right up to the pig's eye and looks at it, and then turns the head so that the other eye can look at it. Leans back and pets the head of the pig, and turns around, looks at everyone, and then seems stuck for a moment, points at the pig, points at the tag. And then I believe you'd said earlier turning people into pigs or something. I think you'd said that.
No,
said that?
I mean, you don't
No?
necessarily know. Oh, wait, no, did I say turning into pigs?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I don't think I did.
No, okay. So they point at the pig and they point at the clothes and the name tag and they're like gesturing very you know what? And then they're gonna try. They're
Okay.
actually going to finally pull out the ladle, make the rattling drawer sound, and cast lesser restoration on this pig in the hopes that this will. And while they're doing this, you're going to say the holy prayer of Anoia. How can it close on the damn thing but not open with it? Who bought it? Do we even use it? And make the rattling drawer sound. And then like a little sort of sprinkle of light comes down and the spell is cast. Whether it does anything.
When this happens, it like sprinkles things down. All of you are like, what the hell is she doing with this pig? And it's about the time that the dusty bits and the sparklies hit it. The pig gives up its disguise. Let me actually, I gotta show you guys a picture of this thing, because holy crappalies.
So
Yeah. It stands up on 2 feet. Hooves and all. It stands upright. You watch as it like drops its shoulders backwards. It is dressed. It has a full-on pig's head. No doubt about it. And it simply looks at all of you and it begins to speak. It steps to the side and you realize, maybe it was because you were investigating the pig, but behind it's actually a door. A bronze-bordered door with the faces of screaming pigs in it. It gestures kind of to the door before it speaks. He says, "You are worthy."
I'll mimic that. You are worthy.
Back at it. Yeah, he goes, "Yes, you saw through my disguise."
Praise Anoia.
"No," he says. Praise the
praise
pork
necromancy?
pie. No. The pig like turns and looks. It's very strange how humanoid it is, even though it still looks like a hog. It simply says, "Follow her footsteps to corporate."
Ooh,
To corporate.
Yes. That is why you are here, is
Oh.
it not? To find Remley
So, I initially rolled an 18.
on...
Whatever.
Was it the
roll-
the insight?
Yes.
Yeah. So,
Um,
okay. What did you rolled? Okay, hang on. I think I might have got your rolls backwards. Oh no, I didn't. No. Oh, you rolled an 18. Okay, so she rolled the 19. So yeah, it looks at the both of you. I mean, you see through it. And when it stands up, it kind of eyeballs all of you, specifically the two of you that recognize that it's not a pig, that there's something else going on here. And it simply says, "Follow her is why you are here." Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, I mean- We're trying to get her back to her undeserving husband.
Ah, Montag. Yes, I know Montag.
Monday. Montage.
He takes his hoof, and you can hear it like pat against the name tag that says Petey on it. I am
Petey.
Petey. He goes, "Yes,
Petey.
Petey." And he says, "The real one."
The real one.
Are all other PDs just like clones of yours?
He lets out, I think you think it's a smile, but you realize that his teeth are kind of jagged, the saliva thick and gooey. It's very disgusting, much like pigs are. It says, "Too many questions. You should know. We have a client that paid good money to our corporate headquarters to speak with her. You are worthy. You may also speak with the client.
I'm going to look at. I'm sorry, I don't know everybody else's character's name, but whoever said that, he was the Don once. Think of like a mafia.
Who was?
The pig.
Oh,
The pig was Don once, or at least that's the impression I'm getting, and
Sure.
so that's what he'll say.
This is kind, but I am no Don Juan. I am simply Petey. Have you never
At
seen
this
a
point, like,
hogkin before?
I'll
Cannot
just
say
shake my
that I
head.
have.
No hogkin. I see. Oh my god, I have to show you guys. This art is so good. It's just so good. Rim's art is so good. I'm gonna pull it right now. Please understand, the business that we run here is simple. She paid the money to speak with her. Would you like to also speak with the client?
Yes.
Yeah, let's speak with the client.
He reaches in his pocket and with his hooves pulls out a key. He slips it into the bronze door, unclicks it, steps back, and pulls it open for you.
I just happily march.
Yeah, I follow.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what Gak does.
The hog smiles a lot as you enter. And you begin to... yeah.
I would say to everyone else, business is business, and I will actually hang back.
Oh, you're gonna stay in
Because I
the
don't-
room with the hog?
I don't wanna, for RP reasons, I think they would think that, they would wind up in a similar position if they go in, and so, they'll hang back and
Okay.
just wait.
All right. The hog does look at you and says, "You are afraid."
I don't want to turn out like you.
But you are not a hog. Only a hog can become a hogkin. Unless I am mistaken, you are not hog.
I'm a fat gnome who likes to sing.
Why don't you,
Exactly.
you could roll a
Sound like you.
nature, or you could roll a history. And I can see if I can tell you a little bit more about hogkin and what you know about them, if anything.
Sure.
Possibly as somebody that tells
All right.
lore and sings songs. Let's see if you've heard of them before. That's actually not a bad idea. So let's see.
So a 16.
Hey, that's not too bad. I was expecting it to be worse than that. So, what did you roll? A history or did you roll a nature?
I rolled a history.
Beautiful. As a bard, you sing songs and tales of old. Sometimes outdated ones you have to learn as you study. But there's one in particular. As he says that, only hogs can become hogkin. You think about the history of hogs and, I guess, lore and literature, and what comes to you is the following. Most gods receive a lot of praise from their followers, whether it be Zuchtmoy or Lolth. But there are a lot of demon lords that are older than that have been long since forgotten. One in particular comes to mind. Dwergus is the one that comes to your mind. He is an older god. The story goes that he was, of course, forgotten. And the song that comes to mind reminds you that for reasons he had been silent for years, receiving sacrifice from no one, heralding cries from any mortal follower whatsoever. But this song is not about the lack of him. and the lack of praise, but about the beginning of new praise. It was the prayer of a hog farmer that awakened him. The older gods wouldn't listen to the farmer, or acknowledge him, or his, what's the word I'm looking for, mundane sacrifices. It was only Dwergus, who answered him, because he slaughtered the fattest hog on the altar of stones. It is well known now that if you want to make a sacrifice to Dwergus, you do it by sacrificing a hog. And moving forward, he continues to give great praise and admiration to Hog and the whispers of something called Hogkin. He blessed this farmer with a great plantation. The story goes, anyways. The sacrifice hog entered the flesh forges, or the kind of second realm, and ascended to become something more. Hogkin are said to be that. You've never seen one, ever. And most people never do. They think it's completely, literally baloney, to make a pig joke. They think it's total nonsense. But it's said that that great hog that was sacrificed by the farmer was taught to walk and to speak. How to feel things like shame and weep the way that mortals do. And in this learning was the firstborn Hogkin. There's a high probability that what you stare at is a descendant of the first Hogkin. And out of 15 or 16, whichever you rolled, there's a good probability that there's something about this Emporium that has to do with the worship and the sacrifice of hogs.
So, nonetheless, I wouldn't call him necessarily a God-fearing person. However, he's not one to take lately the stories of old, and so nonetheless he'll stay back.
Okay.
He won't say anything to anybody else, but yeah, he'll stay back.
Okay.
And
Okay.
just be.
You'd stare deep into the eyes of Petey, who looks back at you. He smiles, knowing that you know, and he says, "All right," and closes the door behind the other four of you. Yeah.
That roll for me in chat. I was casting false life on myself, and I add 5 extra. Not false. False life, and I add 5 hit points.
Okay.
As Smoke Leaf walks past Ed, he's gonna tap him on the shoulder with his elbow and just be like, "Be careful. I don't know if it's something that I smoke, but that doesn't look like a real pig to me." And then he's just gonna walk past.
As those of you that descend further into corporate go, you begin to hear something in your ears. It's very blatant. All of you hear it. Whispers on the air. Prayers, even. And as you step in, the floor becomes fleshy, soft, squishy. A tunnel stretches long past his office, and there are stairs that leading down from the pig pen itself, obviously, or from the office itself. But the whispers on the air say, "A winding path, rotten halls. May all who step here quiver at the rise of the Hogkin."
I read the sign and I quiver because I don't want to be rude.
Yeah. It's in the air. There are no signs. It's just the sounds of things.
Oh, then that makes me definitely quiver, and I'm just like, oh, I remember this kind of stuff. This was like my seventh Blitz dad's room. He had some weird ass shit like this.
Yeah, it's real weird.
It's like my 7th birthday party.
Look at this. I gotta show this off. This is the map. God, I love this so much. This is the map. I'll show it on screen really quick for everybody so you can see it. Boom! map. I love it. It's so just ridiculous and not usable at all. So you guys have entered here in this first curly. You walk down this winding hall for a second, doing your thing, and let's see, hang on. You get to kind of an open room, I guess you can say. It empties out into a hollowed out space, we'll say. And the whispers continue. A skull temple room, idolizing the first sacrifice. Try as you can, the laws of this place do not admit travel back. And then behind it goes, without going deeper.
Oh, I'm loving this. I'm just feeling so at home with all this weird
Yeah, it's really weird. There's a high probability you're in the inside of a giant pig skull right now. Too bad you don't have any pamphlets left.
Cleve still just thinks this is all in his head right now.
Yeah, you probably think you're tripping hard. Whatever you smoked was bad. So bad.
Jack just thinks this is a normal Tuesday.
For those of you yeah.
I've never seen any of this stuff before either, and everywhere Kala goes, they seem to sort of mimic, sounds, the sort of ambient sounds of the atmosphere, just to be, it's like, almost like a way of understanding the environment.
Yeah.
Sort of by mimicking it, so they're making the sound of their feet, the little dinosaur feet that birds have, pushing in this, and they're going to cast light on the pendant of the soup ladle glows faintly now.
Nice.
So they can see, because I'm imagining it's not a very bright area.
No, it is not. It is dimly lit. When you light it up, you see a little bit better. You are, in fact, inside of a giant skull. You begin to see from the interior this kind of skull-like quality. And you have there seems to be an exit now that you've lit the way to your right. The only exit, in fact. That seems to be where, the spine would attach to the skull, the hole, which is obviously very, very large for you guys to be standing inside of it.
So, Ed would literally, if everybody else decided to go in, instead of waiting, he would go with the last person to go in.
Yeah.
Instead of being left outside all by his lonesome.
Standing there with a hog staring at you.
Yeah, that also is kind of creepy. So he would have gone with the last of his compatriots.
Okay.
And gone inward.
Okay, so you kind of follow behind. The hog stares at you for a while, and you get that, creepy vibe, and finally the hog, knowing that you're ready to join them, creaks the door open. You catch the tail end of everybody, kind of rounding the corner out of this skull. You too catch it, the whispers in the wind and the air. As you round the corner again, the whispers grow thicker in the air, more viable in the ear. And you hear it say, a smell. A sound, a call run round. The squeals ahead, they linger out from fattened jowls to stumped snouts. And you exit through what is inevitably the throat of this skull. Okay? Down another tunnel that descends. It's wet. It gets wetter. And it doesn't take long. I'm going to have everybody make a dexterity saving throw roll. Dexterity roll, saving throw. Bless you from everybody.
That hurt. Alright.
Did you say a save or just a straight roll?
It is a save. This is a save.
It doesn't.
I got a
18.
Ow!
I got an 18.
Okay, while everybody keeps rolling, for those of you in chat, it is this module is currently part of a larger set that Rim is working on. Rim's in chat if you guys want to ask any questions. So you can promote the hell out of Rim if you want. As soon as I'm sure he's done with the whole set, he'll be releasing it. I'm doing a little playtest and sneak peek for the general public on this awesome content.
A 13.
A 13sies. A 13, and 8. Okay. Unfortunately...
Dexterity
saving throw. So make sure if you are proficient. You added that.
Imagine I'm not. 10.
A 10. Okay.
No better than me.
That's okay. It doesn't really matter because something happens. It kind of like vibrates. The entire tunnel constricts in some way as if to swallow you whole. And it in fact does. It begins to swallow you. You. Some of you attempt to hang on and you do great. But this magical like contraction begins to push all of you down what is inevitably a gullet. You hear pig echoes and squeals as you slide through this slit, disgusting throat, and exits and drops you inside of some kind of fleshy room, lined with troughs and scraps.
As Gak was sliding, he would have pulled like as much into his shell as he could.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
peeking out over the top,
nasty.
and holding on. He's holding onto his quarterstaff with one hand, but all his other limbs are pulled into his shell.
Hugh is just like arms up in the air, enjoying the slide.
Yeah, like, woo! You guys come plummeting and kind of plop and splash into the internal stomach of something much larger than you. The voices whisper and continue, and they say, prohibition of inhibitions remains a voice unlocked. So, cling now to your rock. Dare you wish to knock? Then deeper you must trot to sleeper, wake. You've ate the demon's slop. In front of you are 4 doors. Okay, this is no longer, if any of you have sensories to other, like, planar travel, you're not on the same plane you were on. You've reached the abyss. And in front of you are 4 doors. They are marked blood, flesh, meat, and bone.
What was that poem again?
Prohibition of inhibitions remains a voice unlocked. So, cling now to your rock, dare you wish to knock? Then the deeper you must trot, O sleeper wake, you ate the demon's slop.
I'm going to say...
They're called what? Flesh?
Bone, flesh, meat, and blood. And actually, let me just, for the funsies of it, I'm going to show this to everybody at home, too, because I love this one.
I will go to the meat door.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think if they want us to eat stuff, that's gonna be some meat.
Okay, so you guys choose meat.
For everyone that's in our party, I will literally say, if we do not pass this, we will wind up like them. And I will walk to the blood door.
Okay, you walk to blood.
I just reassure if you die though, I definitely can help you bring back, because necromancy is tight as fuck.
So this is basically the map. If you guys want a quick pan to Twitch so you can see, there are 4 basically options. I love this map. You can choose whichever one you kind of like. There is, again, no right or wrong here. So do me a favor. I'm going to just go around. Tell me which door you choose. Because it is the only way in or out. You'll have to choose a door. There, again, doesn't seem to be like a right one or a wrong one. You just have to make a choice. So who chose blood? That was Edgar?
Me. I will choose blood, even if that means I'm alone.
Okay, so you choose blood. Totally fine. Actually, I think there's a note in here that's like, your PCs may split up at this point. Somebody chose meat? 2 people chose meat.
I did, yeah.
Yeah, and I as well.
And Joel did. Okay. Human and meat. What about Smoke Leaf and Gak?
Gak seems to think that Hugh seems pretty comfortable down here, and that he knows where he's going, so he's going to follow into the meat door.
Meat door it is. All right, very cool. What about Smoke Leaf?
Smoke Leaf's gonna follow Edgar.
Okay.
Still thinking this is a bad trip. He's just gonna ask him to play some songs or something so he can snap out of it.
Oh, cute. Well, it's about this time as each of you step up to your perspective doors. So pretty much everybody chose meat except for Edgar, who chose blood. Am I right?
I'm following Edgar.
Oh, you're okay. So the two of you chose blood. The rest of you chose meat. I love that. So as all of you step up to your prospective door, that moment before you knock, an intercom system comes through, and you hear a voice. Here at Petey Pork's Pie Emporium, we always ensure customer service satisfaction. Your needs are ours to know, and your wants are ours to delegate. Which one of our 4 specials speaks to you the best? And as you reach for each of your individual doors, you're almost sucked through. 2 of you following the blood path, 2 of you following meat.
It's 3 in meat, but
3. Oh, I'm sorry, 3 in meat. 3 to meat, 2 to blood. We got it. It's fine. Math. It's fine. And those of you that chose blood, and I'm gonna kind of do this in these like washes. So the 3 of you, as you come through, you again hear a voice in your head. In your head, you're not even sure if it's actually out there. It feels like there is something penetrating your brain. Raised, born, grow. You are a stem uprooted from a garden. Blood? Served with homemade bread and jam. Those of you that chose meat, same thing. You're almost sucked through, back into a slimy slide of parts and tendrils. This voice inside your head says something different. We are only slabs draped over skeletons, tearing apart one another. Meat? Tendered daily, peppered lightly. As your minds, the voices like leave your minds, those of you down the blood tunnel, we'll call it. When you finally reach the bottom, each of you see something different. Your home. Whatever that means to you. Is it where you grew up? Is it the place you rest your head now? Is it the road, your friends, a campfire? And those that you call family, that make it your home, are also there. Regardless of how horrible your past may have been, or how great it may have been, your preferred version of that childhood, that happy holiday, that perfect birthday present, that slaying of the dragon on the road, it plays before you. Your past haunts you. Those of you that chose meat, this is something different. It's not about your past, but about your enemies. Who is your enemy? Because when you land, those that you traveled this tunnel with are not there anymore. Instead, you stand in a black abyss staring down that thing. Is it yourself? A past lover? A nemesis? But that enemy is waiting for you, that individual, unarmed and unable to fight you. And very, very vulnerable they look. Around them are scattered torture devices of varying kinds. Not just meat hooks from the ceiling, but metal blades, scissors, things that cause shock and pain. I need all of you, here's how I'm going to do this. I would like all of you to roll me a, this is a wisdom. I'd like you all to roll me a wisdom saving throw.
All of us, or just those
all of you? Every one of you chose a room. You all got to roll that.
And since I've been playing too much Powered by the Apocalypse games. Since I am proficient in wisdom, I just get to add my proficiency bonus.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. Just your proficiency to it.
17.
Yeah, if it's on your sheet, it should. My sheet did it automatically.
Wisdom.
Yeah, I rolled.
Yeah, I haven't inputted mine to roll 20, so I'm just going off my PDF.
So, okay. Oh, man.
I did not do good. I got a 6.
Okay, and what did I get here from Edgar? What did Edgar roll?
17.
A 17, beautiful. Okay. Was that everybody to get everybody's roll for that? I think I did. Edgar did. Yep, okay. Fantastic. Good news is there's only one of you. Which one did you choose? You chose your enemy, yeah?
You talking about me for my failure?
Yeah.
Yeah, I chose the meat door.
You chose
so
the meat door. Who is your enemy?
I'm going to go ahead and say that I don't know who they are, but the way I know they're my enemy is they are wearing like trinkets and items that were from my 7 lich fathers. So I put together that they are the person that went and slayed my lich fathers while I was out gathering supplies.
They stand there staring at you, radiating the opposite necromantic energy. Basically, they exhume light and life. You feel torn, drawn to do horrible things to them. You pick up a blade, something metal, a scaffold, something that a necromancer would know, and you begin to tear apart this person unwillingly, as if something guides your hand. You slice and you cut, meat flays to the floor, it sizzles like bacon on the top of a pan. A part of you changes. It darkens you, if a necromancer can get any dark. Actually, let's do the opposite of that. Killing this light begins to imbue you with a part of it.
Oh no, I have understanding about all the bad things my dad's did.
Exactly. You begin to understand, and it changes you. It forces you to come to terms with both your hatred of the light and the dark and the place in which you live in between. Now, the rest of you that passed your wisdom save, the illusion and the hallucination that you see begins to dissipate. Those of you in the meat room see human Kyle standing there, staring off into the abyss. He's not moving, he's not doing anything, literally lost in his own mind. The two of you that were in the blood room, you see quickly that the panning and the love of the place that you call home, whether that's the stage performing or whatever, begins to disappear. And you're back kind of where you started. In this strangely gutty place. The rooms, how you say, to be the insides and innards, and a door appears on either end. Do you continue?
Is that to both groups? Or just,
yeah, both groups. Yeah, you guys are fully, basically the only person that hasn't broken free is human Kyle. So those of you in the...
I don't see the door.
You don't see, you still are in your mind's eye ripping apart this person and doing terrible things to them.
I'll
poke
go
you
over to Hugh
with my
and-
quarterstaff a little bit. And then when he doesn't respond, like, is Hugh a big guy, or is he kind of a...
No, I have a strength of 9. I'm a pretty scrawny human.
I would probably, like, pick him up and, like, over the shell, just bring him along. He was like, I'm not going to leave him here, but I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, you toss him over your shoulder. He's not necessarily petrified, he goes limp, but he seems, again, he's lost in his mind, as if maybe sleepwalking or caught in a trance. And as you continue, each of you open your perspective door that appeared in this strange, abysmal place. And when your door clicks open, so does another door, just to your left and to your right. And your other team appears, now down the same kind of, I guess, hallway, I think is what it says, yeah. You close the door behind you and it disappears. Human, you wake up almost out of this... It's not even a hangover. It's like the worst foggy haze you've ever been in. Something much stronger than booze did this to you. And you're slung over the shoulder of your friend. You don't know how you got here. You don't know what happened. Your hands still shake from the violence of...
as soon as I come back into it, I just start screaming like I wasn't done pulling out his intestines.
Yeah, you're like... you know, this hallway, though, is something different.
So, even if we passed, did we see, our pass?
Yeah, you guys already, so you had basically what happened is you had a whole vision of your past, the place that you call home. And with the wisdom save that you made, you were able to look through the hallucinogen, in essence, the hallucination that you were having, past it and broke free of the vision.
Okay, so in that case, I suppose Ed would literally watch whoever didn't pass with tears in his eyes of the family that he lost. he would slap them rather hard. Not really caring, like, wake up, you idiot.
Okay, so for clarification, both of you in your room, you guys were in a totally separate room passed. So both of you came free. There was nobody in your room that didn't pass the wisdom save. The only person that did was in the meat room, which you guys didn't choose, and that was Hugh. So what happened is, after you broke free of the hallucination, it was a door that appeared. When you guys walked through it, it poured you into a same hallway as your counterparts that were elsewhere. So it brought you back together. And Hugh just woke up from his different vision, the horrific one, slung over the shoulder of Gak. And you see Edgar as well as Smokeleaf. I don't know that Smokeleaf has tears in his eyes, maybe for a different reason. Edgar's seems to be a bit more personal, and you can tell that whatever Edgar saw was deeply affected him. But you don't necessarily stand in... it doesn't feel like the same place. This hallway is narrow, and it is lined with an uncountable number of Employee of the Month plaques, very similar to the ones that you saw out front. These are extremely cheerful paintings of employees in different uniforms, and you find, as you walk down the hallway, the last 5 picture frames hold pictures of you. Each of you.
Oh, snap.
I will say to literally everybody within earshot, we should not have come here.
I look at my picture. Does it look like a good representation of me, or is it like a shitty drawing?
It's a painting. It's pretty well done. I mean, I don't know what your usual, like, know-how of art is, like, what your taste is, but it is a pretty well done portrait.
And I look at Edgar, who's scared. I'm like, I'm gonna be honest though. You say we shouldn't have come down here, but they already had these paintings of us, so I feel like we definitely were meant to come down here. And also, this is pretty cool. I wonder if someone could paint me next to my painting.
I start pecking at my painting.
Edgar will just laugh and start humming a tune.
Oh, nice. Okay. So, as you hum and you stare at yourselves, there is a door at the end of this hallway, a giant 10-foot door, in fact. It doesn't seem to be locked. You can hear activity from the other side of it.
If pecking at the painting doesn't do anything, then I'll head to the door.
It doesn't really do anything. It just seems to be like part of it. And as you,
if Pecky doesn't work, what will?
what will? You guys creak the door open. There is no sneaking into this place because the door, heavy in stone, swings and bashes into the stone wall behind it. Your eyes are greeted with a horrific sight of a great pig, a giant sow, held in an upright position by chains linked under each of the arms. It is a female sow, and I'm going to show you guys this art because holy crap, Oli, I love this image. It's disturbing as fuck. It is so disturbing. And then I'm going to read you the description because also disturbing. Let me see if I can get the whole picture in here. So there seems to be this giant sow that is held upright by chains. There's a machine attached to a series of teats that seems to be pumping large amounts of milk. Look at that. Terrifying.
Oh my god, that is awesome.
Just terrifying. I'm obsessed. So what you...
Where can I see this?
You'll need to go to Twitch to see this one, because it's not... I didn't put it in Roll20. I'm just capturing my PDF. So here's basically what you get. There are a series of humans that are resting on it, sleeping on it, feeding from it. Its many teats. And there's a machine that is pumping milk from this giant sow as well. Like I said, disturbing. Yeah, it's awesome. And let's see if there's anything additional that you really need to know about this giant sow. This milking machine's attached to the great sow's teats, siphoning milk from her and packaging it into glass bottles that are served for free in the restaurant. Good thing none of you drank the milk. Okay. What you notice, does anybody have a passive perception over 15?
Mine
I
is,
have
I think,
Okay.
mine's right at 15.
The two of you, particularly just off the cusp, realize that some of the people here that are literally sucking from the teat of this giant sow and managing it, are employees of the month.
Oh, okay. I look around and I see this, and I make that rattling sound again, and say praise Anoia, and I have to pray at this point because I am a cleric, and I am witnessing horror, so I'm going to pray to Anoia, the goddess of stuffed drawers.
Yeah, I'm just kind of impressed by the whole setup they got here. It seems pretty efficient. Maybe jot down a few notes to maybe if I ever need to replicate something like that.
Okay.
True.
Yeah, because just in case you have to do that. Why not?
Granted, now that I've seen this, I can technically.
Nobody seems really threatened by the fact that all of you are here. In this space, as if maybe you were supposed to find this place. And the pig does seem to be held upright by these chains, as if unable to reach you if need. I mean, it's attached to all kinds of things. That's about it.
Now, do we think this pig's being held against their will, or the pig wants this to be happening?
You could definitely make an insight roll to see if you can tell if the pig is, consenting to being pumped for so much milk.
I would also like to do that, yes.
The note here literally says, be as descriptive as possible to gross out your players.
I got an 11 on insight.
Achieved.
I rolled a 23.
Beautiful. It doesn't seem like the pig is being held against its will. It seems that those working on the pig might, in fact, be.
All right, y'all. So yeah, I think the pig is actually into this. So maybe we don't. I don't know. I kind of feel conflicted. I'm not trying to kink shame anyone here, but I don't know. Maybe these people don't want to be doing this.
I'm praying for guidance. Though I'm really just making a series of noises, my intent is praying for guidance from Anoia to see what the goddess wants me to do.
And do any of the individuals, do we see the halfling that we came here to find?
You, in fact, do. At least the description of a beautiful halfling. Yeah.
We'll walk up to her.
I'm going to say, I think time to collect what we came here for and...
Y'all, I got a bad idea.
Uh-oh.
I feel like these people are kind of like being controlled to do this. I could cast Ray of Sickness on the pig to maybe then spoil its pig milk or juices. I don't know what pigs are producing.
Pig juices?
So, I could cast Ray of Sickness on it, and then maybe that would snap everybody out of it since they're all imbibing it.
Okay.
I nod up and down. And yes.
So no one thinks it's okay. Well, all right.
Go for it. Hey, there's literally no way to deal with this situation other than to try for something because it is a giant pig and you're not gonna be able to fight it.
It is a ranged spell attack, so then I'll get a +6
okay.
on that.
We pull up.
Fucking finally, an 18.
Woo! That's that'll do it. We'll say that'll do it.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit. It takes 2d8 poison damage and must make a Constitution saving throw, and the saving throw will be versus 14.
Ooh, this is so this is a +9. No, makes it. So the Constitution saving throw doesn't take, but the pig does feel it. And you watch everybody
It takes 9 points of poison damage.
Okay. You watch the pig seems to brush it off, but those sucking from it begin to right? From the reeling from it. And it's about this time the pig notices you, and it reaches its claw out and goes, ah!
Please tell me you mimic that.
I absolutely do. I mimic that at the same time. I use my channel divinity, which invokes duplicity, and there are suddenly 2 columns.
Oh, it looks like we lost somebody. I just noticed that. Okay, there are 2 of you. Maybe he'll join us back. I'll try to get to the The camera's fixed if he doesn't make it back. Awesome. So here's the fun part. So when this happens, you see that the woman manning the machine, I guess is the only thing that you can call it, this machine, is steps away. And she looks at you. This is in fact the same, you're thinking, the same halfling that you have been looking for, the woman. She steps away, just away from it, and kind of looks at you deep with her eyes. It is a ghostly figure that stands next to her that catches your eye. Another halfling, beautiful, female, very similar to the same thing. The pig is pissed. It kind of writhes, but it wants to get its humans back in order. It begins, like, repositioning them to feed off of its teats and things.
So creepy.
It is so creepy. The ghost kind of walks up to all of you, and she says, "Do not drink from..." I can't believe I'm about to say this live on stream. Please do not drink from the pig's teat.
I apologize. I missed a bit.
Oh, that's okay. So the pig, he attempted to poison it. It doesn't seem like it affected the pig, but maybe its milk. The people kind of writhed and pulled away, but the woman that's actually working the milking machine seems to potentially be the halfling you are seeking. And the next to her, she kind of steps away. The pig points all of you out, and next to her appears kind of a ghostly figure. The halfling that you're seeking, Remley, doesn't make any noise or do anything. She just stands there, still pumping milk on the machine. But the ghost next to her, that, on the other hand, does speak to you. And this also very beautiful female halfling steps forward. And she says, "My name is Siren."
Hello, Siren. I mimic.
Yes. I'm guessing you know my ex-husband, Montague Opal.
Yeah, we saw him blubbering.
Not a surprise.
Ex-husband.
I would like to think that he blubbered over my death, but I know that is not true. Because,
Ex-husband. What do you mean by ex-husband?
well, I am dead, of course, thanks to him.
What happened?
He killed me for my money. Just as he planned to kill her. For hers. And he points to the woman that was to be his wife.
Oh, snap. That guy is a dick like I thought.
You called it from the beginning. I was like, damn it, how did he know that?
When you only describe women as beautiful or having money, it kind of shows how much of a piece of shit you are.
He was conniving, ensured that upon our marriage, my funds would be transferred to him. We were only married for 2 years. I fell from our castled home. I traveled in my death to the 558th layer of the abyss to do one thing. To make a deal with the CEO of the Emporium. I serve this creature so that I could get her here to tell her the truth of what would become of her. This is why she ran, and why she came here.
Edgar's only question at this will be, how can I help you?
She smiles. Good question. I have exactly one opportunity to allow the wedding to happen. We must do something about Montag.
Caller repeats, "Do something about Montag," and then points to themselves, and you hear an old woman's voice.
We
I'd like to help you, dear.
Cute.
we can there's some spoiled pig milk that I just helped create. Maybe we can feed that to them.
She laughs. She says, that milk was already spoiled before you got here. I suggest not drinking it, or it will turn you into an employee of the month. And
That's
it
it.
points to somebody that's actively like sucking on this giant teat.
Yeah, this is some weird ass shit, and I love it.
And she says, there are options. Kill him after the wedding. Out him at the wedding. You can put him in a zone of truth. Maybe, I don't know, poison his cake. But we must do something. And the time is now. And she snaps her fingers, and when it does, everything around you shifts. And you all stand now inside of what is a chapel. The wedding is actively happening. Opal stands at the altar next to his lovely halfling bride, Remley. She looks excited and thrilled. Other than the 5 of you, which sit on the side of the bride, there's only Siren, who sits kind of in her ghostly state on the groom's side.
So this is like they're currently getting
She like snapped her fingers, and we are at a wedding. The strange thing is none of the guests seem to be there. It seems to be kind of empty.
I'll get up and go right up to the bride and tap her on the shoulder, and then mimic what Siren said about he killed me and he's going to kill her too. Repeat the whole speech.
Here's I was about to say, here's the fun thing. The groom says, "Sit down. You're not supposed to be up here."
I cast Witch Bowl at him.
Nice. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, there's still 2 of me.
Oh my god, that's a critical hit.
That is a natural 20.
Dang!
Yeah,
so roll your damage double.
So it is, let's see, 1d12. Automatically, the spell ends. On a hit, the target takes 1d12, and on each of your turns for the duration, it can use... Oh, okay, so I can just keep dealing that to
Dealing that same damage, yeah. So roll 12 and another one.
All right, and then, so that's 8 plus 6.
And
math, 14.
I was about to say, and I'm a really nice DM. I like to take full crit, so you actually get 12 on the second one, so it's 12 and 8 makes 20. This witch bolt hits Montag right in the chest and bashes him against a wall. As it does so, the time and place that you're in shakes, it shatters, it becomes thin, and you can see that you're still in another dimension, in another place. And he stands up and he says, "What are you doing? You stop it right now." Opal turns to all of you and she says, "Please, what are you doing? I love him. Please don't kill him."
Edgar will sit down next to I forget her name, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. Siren, the ghost?
Siren,
yeah.
Yes. So he'll sit down next to Siren and he'll, like put a hand on like her knee or something. What would you have me do?
She says, She says, "Save her. Assure that..." Okay. Yeah, she's like, assure that she does not get played like I did. Montag seems to be very, very hardly injured after this, but he is not dead, Edgar. Just in case you want to know.
Okay.
One of the Kallas is going to interrupt him, and the other Kalla is going to be repeating,
like over and over.
Yeah, what she said about how she was killed to the bride.
Very nice. Does anybody else want to make an attack?
No.
With her, with her guidance, I don't know if this, I'm sorry, with her guidance, I guess, Ed would then begin casting suggestion on her and say, "He is poison. He does not deserve you. He is not in it for you."
All right, make a, that's a persuasion roll. Go ahead and make a persuasion. And I'm going to give you advantage because you've got the actual voice of the ex-wife feeding the information out of the Kiku. Kiku, man. That's a really cool thing to be able to do. So go ahead and make the persuasion with advantage. I was going to have a giant combat, but I decided not to. 1 for time and 2 because I liked how you guys were like oh, pig. All right, what'd you get on that persuasion?
So 18 plus 4.
Oh,
So-
nice! A 22? Yeah.
Yeah.
She looks at you, she gingerly reaches out her hand and kind of brushes your cheek as if in this kind of dazed, and she says, I thought he loved me. He is my family. My home.
Ed'll just weep.
Yeah, and she cries with you. When you start to cry, she cries with you, and she says, I must. And she walks over to the blasted, man. He's a halfling, really. Montag. And the ghost kind of follows her as if mimicking in her shadow the steps that they take. And she walks right over to him, and she says, I should never have fallen in love. And she reaches a hand out, and she pushes Montag. And you watch as that barrier in this dimension breaks, and she pushes him through the wall of the church, off the edge of a building that was not there. And he begins to fall. And her and Siren watch over an edge that doesn't exist, a ledge that was never there, as you hear Montag fall for many hundreds of feet before his body comes to a very light thud at the bottom.
When his body hits the ground, I just make Witch Bolt like do another damage on him because it's just
Like pew pew pew. Why not, right? Yeah. And she
I'll
Double
throw a
tap.
Toll the Dead in there as he's falling. Just boom.
Everybody's like throwing things at him. His body's breaking into pieces. And you guys you stare over this invisible edge as the remains of his tiny little halfling body splatter the ground in bits and pieces. Siren, the ghost, smiles at all of you. And she walks over to, let's see. Well, no, the person that sat down next to her. That's who she chooses. She walks over to Edgar, and she pulls something from her pocket, I guess you could say. She gets down on one knee, and she holds a ring up to you, as if to propose in some way, a wedding ring. And she says, before I go, somebody deserves this. I thought I did. And her ghost disappears. And as it does, Remley faints. Definitely doesn't die, but her body goes limp and she thuds to the floor. And in your hand is a wedding ring. A very good wedding ring. Beautiful diamond, Edgar. Oh, I can't hear you. I'm sorry. I think you're muted.
Edgar will just weep as he accepts the ring, and if it fits, he'll put it on.
It does, in fact, fit. Why don't you roll... you can roll an Arcana check if you want to try to identify it, because it is an extremely magical ring.
Sure.
Sure, why not? Maybe.
So that's a 10 plus... So 14.
A 14, okay. You're not 100% sure. You know that it is a wedding band. When you put it on, you feel something. Between that and your roll, you realize that there is an essence of Siren that is embedded in this ring. It does something, though, kind of difficult to understand at first. you realize that it will actually summon Siren to fight for you. It is a summoning ring. And it summons sirens as a wedding dress clad revenant.
Fuck yeah, that's
ally
so cool.
for 24 hours. So you can basically call upon this revenant bride to fight for you as an ally for 24 hours. It's a little tight on your finger. You have to probably like slip it on a different finger than hers, but you guys have that as well. You can check on old what is her name? Remley. She's breathing. She seems to be in a deep sleep. And yeah.
would cure her.
Yeah, you go and test and make sure. Like I said, she doesn't seem terribly injured, but she's been under quite a lot of milk, which is cold. It's cold.
Quite a lot of milk.
It's quick. It's cold milk.
I'm like holding her like you would hold a small child.
Yeah. And she's just a little halfling. And it's about this time that the walls of the church fade away, and all of you find yourself back in the lobby of the restaurant, of this Porky Pie's Emporium. Porky himself, Petey, the fake manager, the one that you met originally in the upstairs room, greets you with a smile. He says, "Congratulations. I have something for each of you."
Did we solve your milk puzzle?
He kind of like cocks his head. "Milk puzzle, I don't understand. If you are referring to the hog's milk that we serve here, there is no fixing that."
Edgar will literally just be silent and weeping with a slight look of scorn on his face, like he doesn't understand.
It's a lot. This is like your first adventure, and you're like, "There's some trippy shit that just happened."
Smoke leaf. After like
He's very displeased.
Smoke leaf.
After like trying to look okay the entire time, but like obviously being tripped out as hell,
Right.
even though he wasn't really, just like staring all over the place, being completely neurotic. He's gonna like tap the nearest person with his elbow and be like, "Is this real right now? Please tell me."
Yeah. Hugh-Man just looks at him and goes, "I'm gonna be honest. This was some weird shit, but I think it's pretty par for the course. Just don't drink that milk."
The manager laughs. Yeah, go ahead.
Ed will look at him and flash his hand. Just look real to you.
He says, "Real is what you make it." He looks at you and he says, "You have fulfilled a contract which we held with someone. Made in the 558th Abyss, signed by both the Lord himself and Siren. You completed her task of saving the bride that was to marry her ex-husband. Therefore, each of you receive a fiscal reward." He pays you each 150 gold, and he looks at Edgar and says, "And keep the ring. I have a feeling you may need it. Oh, and here's a coupon for your next Petey's Pork Pie Emporium adventure. Until next time." And he kind of smiles and waves. As you all seem to be back here, you hear Winky and the grinding teeth of the dwarf out back giggling wholeheartedly at something. And the kind of evening crowd begins to pile in to Petey's Pork Pie Emporium. Each of you have done what was asked. Of course, Remley is still in your arms, sleeping. You have saved her, I guess, from her horrible marriage, and located her, so you did both things. But the Hogkin reign supreme. Love may prevail today. Well, kind of. But in the end, nothing kills the corporation. Ever. It will reign supreme, continue to go town to town, and once a month, have a new employee of the month that drinks from the teat of the great Hogkin, building its ever-growing cult. That's where we're ending today's game.
Yeah, I just to give you a little wrap up, Hugh just tightens up his apron and just gets to work because he likes the cut of that jib.
Yeah, he does, right? I love that. Awesome. Well, I hate it. It was like not my plan to not have combat, but we got there to that pig, and I was like, we can spend the rest of this game fighting a pig. Or, and I looked at the pig stats too, and I was like, damn! But I am going to show off a little bit more of the art because some of it's really beautiful. This last page is just gut-wrenching. It's so great. So let me pull up Twitch really quick, and I'll show you guys because, oh my god, it's so great. Look at this piece.
I think Kala in the aftertime would
to be honest with everybody, where one could avoid combat, it is okay as long as it makes sense.
Yeah.
And which is another reason I love the game where you played Ida. I apologize. I keep bringing.
Oh,
that
that's
up,
okay.
but
Just around the corner.
yes. It's like there's literally what 2 combat sequences, but everything else was RP'd so well that it didn't have combat to make it interesting. And
I think that's one of the great things that I like to like. I'm not a terribly you guys will find as a DM. I don't do. Here's some more. I'm gonna just scroll and show you guys some more of the pig art. Like, oh my god,
that art is so great.
It's
great.
stellar. This is my favorite.
I'm not a big combat character either, and that's also why I brought Kala because they're not really very much a combat character at all. So I figured much more. But I think afterwards Kala would stay with the poor bride and try and help her get her life back together.
Yeah, for sure. This one's so disturbing. Yeah, for sure. She's gonna need it too, like a little therapy. Let's be real. Like that woman's gonna need some serious therapy. So I say all of this because I actually love this module. There are 2 storylines actually that you can run through this. One with the wedding piece and one that's totally different. So I encourage you, like I said, if you guys haven't checked Rim out, to do so. His work is fantastic. This is not the only thing he's worked on. He and I are both going through the same group, releasing some AL content actually too. I think his is pretty much ready to go. Mine will be play tested in Australia next month, and then it'll be available, so I can talk a little bit more about that. But this was called Petey's Pork Pie Emporium. Obviously a really interesting kind of dark look at a D&D module. But I loved it, and I've been wanting to run it for a while, so. But, all of that to be said, let's go around. I want to hear from you, just like, we just got, look, what did you enjoy? I know we didn't have a whole lot of combat, but I'm glad to hear from all of you that combat's not like everything that you want in D&D. So talk a little bit tell us about your fun on this Sunday, and tell us also where we can find you online and what other things you're up to, because I like hearing all the many things people are out there doing. And then we'll kind of close out our Sunday Fun Day here in just a couple minutes. So we are going to go backwards. No, wait, did I go backwards? I started with Big B last time, didn't I? Let's go backwards. A ninja squirrel. That's right. Tell us who you are, where we can find you, what you're busy doing.
Well, I guess probably the easiest place for folks to find me would be on Dot's Discord. I hang out there. I hang out on a couple of others. I'm kind of getting into trying to GM a little bit more. Good. So I often am asking lots of questions about how would you deal with this? And I just generally like talking about D&D and tabletop games. So, yeah, that'd be the best place to find me. I just kind of do it as a hobby because it's fun to roll some dice. And have some fun.
Absolutely. Well, you came to the right place for fun, right?
Yes. As for the module specifically, I mean, I know Gek didn't really speak up and talk about much, mostly because he was just sort of like, okay, this is what it is here. This is what it's like to go to a nice restaurant in this part of the world. Okay. At least now I'm prepared for the next one. So, yeah, it was a lot of fun. Just kind of with like, where is this going to go next? I was kind of expecting a whole, what's the story? Barber that
like
Sweeney Todd.
Sweeney Todd, there you go. Yeah. It does have a Sweeney Todd feel. You're like, oh my god, are they feeding people in these pork pies?
That's where I'm like, okay, that's where this is going, and then it kept going. It was like, no, okay, that went way off over here. So that was fun. Because I'm one that likes to, with the one shots, try to figure out what's happening, in the mystery. And then,
Right.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, it was funny. The first time I read through it too, I thought that was where it was going. And then, like, depending on which track you take, I was like, oh, that is not at all what is going on here. I was like, wow, that was not where I saw that going. Which is actually one of the reasons I liked it. And Rim had been sending me art for it for a while, and he kept sending me these. Just all I would get was like a picture of a very disturbed pig. And then he sent me that picture of the pig with the milk thing on its teeth, and I was like, Rim, what is this? Like, you have to give me more than like, does this look good? Because the average person's gonna call it a psych ward. So, anyways, yeah, very, very, very cool. Awesome. And I did drop my Discord, so if you guys want to chat with a ninja, you can always hop in my Discord and do it, because he's always hanging out, he's always chatting. It's been great. And another person that you probably won't see for the last time on this channel, Mad Fish.
Hello. I had a super awesome time. I did play an earlier version of this quite some time ago, when Ren, I guess, was sort of starting to pull it together. And so, even though I didn't know that this is what we were playing.
Oh, that's funny. Oh, I didn't even know that you had played it before. That's hilarious.
Yeah, and so it was like, all of a sudden you were like, Petey's pork pie board, and I'm like, yes!
I love this module! Yeah, I didn't know which he had I think he has run it twice with the different storylines. I took parts of each storyline, and they kind of came together, because they were like, I had to show parts of this, and I had to get part of this, so I took a little bit of each, but that's my usual style, so it's like... Oh,
and I love his creepy animals. They're great.
So funny. It's just so funny.
Yeah, I'm Mad Fishmonger, and I'm on Discord and Twitter a lot. I'm definitely in the Discord, in Dot's Discord, for sure. And I'm on Twitter all the time. And I'm also on the Salt and Sassy channel. I stream on Mondays, and soon will be Fridays. On Wednesdays, I play Numenera with the RPG Lab, and I do some occasional streams of sewing on my 110-year-old treadle sewing machine.
Wow! I didn't know that's what you sewed on. Holy crap, holies!
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, and I make dice bags and other things, and so you can go check that out, and you can get a dice bag that was made on my old machine.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
That's really cool. That's very, very cool. Awesome. Yeah. And if you guys want to drop your Twitter links or whatever in the chat, you are more than welcome to do so. So feel free to link to any of the stuff you're working on. Moving right along. Our lovable Edgar, our ever background soundtrack for today. Tell us about yourself and where we can find you online and what you're busy doing.
So I'm Imperatorus Eritus on Discord. You may certainly become a part of my Discord channel if you'd like. Basically, I'm all about TTRPGs, and I'm into playing a game. I'm looking to start a game. And it takes so much fucking effort. I'm just not gonna sit here and lie to you. I've never DM'd before. I'd like to start a Fate Core game.
Oh, cool.
Kind of based on like the Cabin in the Woods kind of horror movie kind of thing.
Oh, cool.
Where people wake up and they are in a sort of a dream world, and they realize that they have these abilities and stuff, and then kind of working from there. So if you want to join my Discord, just, send me a request or a DM or whatever. I'm on Little Red Dot as Imperatorus Eritus. We'd be happy to have you. I have no idea when that'll happen because, work and shit comes first, of course.
That it does.
Yes, I do have 2 little girls that I need to feed, and a wife who is she demands my attention at times. And
what are wives good for? Just kidding. Always wanting that attention. No, I didn't know you had 2 girls. That's awesome.
Yes, I have a 5-year-old, and I have a 1-year-old, but she'll be 2 in July. The number 13 seems to come up fairly regularly in my life. I was married on the 13th of December, which was a Friday the 13th for any of those
Oh.
you who are interested in those kinds of things. My firstborn was born on 11/12/13. My secondborn was born on 7/13/17. And yeah, so the number 13 appears fairly regularly in my life, which I don't, attribute to any woo-woo or anything, but
Hey, shit happens.
whatever.
That's all the
Yeah.
woo-woo you need. Shit happens.
Yeah, definitely. So, if you guys haven't checked out the Humble Bundle and you're interested in Pathfinder or Starfinder, it's definitely worth it. Definitely do it.
Oh, yeah.
For cystic fibrosis, it's a good cause.
Do us a favor and drop that link again if you don't mind.
Absolutely.
That would be cool. Yeah, definitely drop that link again.
Yeah, I'll do that in the Twitch, and you can find me at Master Sievers, Sivers, on Twitter, and you can find me, online at pretty much, that's my Xbox handle as far as like a gamer tag. And I'm so pumped to be a part of this community, and I'm so pumped because I'm gonna be totally real with you guys. Like I was at a point relatively recently where I was like kind of against things where people shouldn't be who they're allowed, like gender fluid people and things like that. And I've recently been educated by a friend. Her name is Zoe, and she's trans, and I've come a long way in learning a lot of what it means to accept people for who they are and things like that. So
That's wonderful. That makes my heart swell, James. I want you to know that. That makes my heart swell. One, for your friend Zoe, so cheers to her for being, welcoming and encouraging to you as you learned and began to accept. But also congrats to you for finding a different way of equitability in your life. That's just awesome.
Yeah. Nobody is beyond learning and beyond becoming a better person and accepting people for who they are. I want to point that out. And if you're thinking that family or people in your life aren't going to accept you for who you are, there are people out there who will, and that's important.
Yeah, it is.
I feel like everybody should be loved for who they are as a person.
Oh my gosh, so much. It's one of the, kind of ideas behind the Little Red Dot, brand, and the idea of everybody being dots and part of a kingdom where we're all accepted no matter how big or small, what color dot we are, whether or not we're just the outline of a dot, none of that matters. So, yeah, you know what? Thank you for sharing that with us. That is really awesome, James, and speaks a lot to what I try to bring to this community, so I'm really glad that you're part of it. Awesome. Yes. Very cool. Moving right along, Joel.
Yeah, I love the campaign. It was super fun and just so weird. Like the idea behind pea porch pies and just the awkwardness of the whole thing was so fun. The maps themselves and the art that goes with it,
right?
Definitely and it just goes along so well with kind of how I felt about this place. What is it? The Darkest Dungeon. I don't know if anyone's played that RPG.
Oh, yeah.
It's a side-scrolling turn-based RPG, but the art on it's so creepy and stuff like that. And I definitely got a huge Darkest Dungeon feel. I don't know if Remley's still in the chat.
Oh, he is.
But,
he lurking.
Okay,
he's always lurking.
I definitely I loved as soon as I started seeing the art for it and the general fear, the feel that gives you fearfulness. And also, I like how you said in the beginning you were curious about how my necromancer would play.
Yeah, would play into all of this.
because like as soon as you started saying all this, I was like, oh fuck yeah! For the first time out of the house, I'm just like, oh, this is it.
Nailed it.
As soon as you said like, you know, like we'll just continue to like go on and stuff like that, I was just like, oh cool, yeah, no, I work here. Like
I would officially like to be here forever, please and thank you.
I took this apron to sneak in, but I'm gonna be honest, like let's just start clearing tables. We got, you know, dinner rush is coming, y'all.
Right, it's so cool too, and I didn't really get to it to do it to full justice. Honestly, if I were to run this module again, I'd run it as 2 parts. Like there would be the whole first part before they get into the abyss, and then everything that happens in the abyss. These are the things you learn as a DM over time and you're running modules. But I would like to run it because the scene where you choose like blood, bone, meat, or whatever the other one was, each one of those is meant to be a total roleplay moment where every person goes down and has a totally different experience. That
aspect was so cool. The like the idea that you had to pick one and then each of them had their different thing of like the failure. And I'm gonna be honest, I know I did fail the roll, but like as soon as I failed it, I was so happy because I was like, yes, like just fucking send me into this.
Well, and you know what? It's funny that because you were saying about Necromancer, I was like, this whole thing's supposed to be about like ripping the person that you hate apart, but like that's such a Necromancer thing to do, to kill someone, that I feel like I should have had you like bandaging them up or making them better.
I liked your spin on it of saying that like, you know, normally this would be fine for me, but the fact that I am destroying this like being of like, you know, like that embodies the light of like the fact that I finally am starting to like understand, like kind of getting some awareness of the world around me, that like, oh no, maybe everything my 7 Lich fathers did was bad.
Right. I mean, honestly, in and itself, that whole section where you go into the individual 4 rooms, because it even encourages you as a to let your party like take whichever one they want. That you don't have to have them go together. Like it is about which one they want to choose, which I thought was really neat too. I just had this image in my mind of all 4 players like standing in front of an individual door and like opening it, and that individual journey they have. But you could even run an entire game off nothing but just the roleplay section of that portion of this. It's just the coolest thing.
But yeah, so like, but yeah, a good segue into where you can find what I do. I run a actual play podcast called Critical Bits. We use the mask system, which is teen superheroes. If y'all enjoy body horror and weird shit, our podcast started around like episodes, I think it's like 3 or 4. We kind of like go into that. We're only, what's out? 7 episodes out. Like so far online, we've recorded the next few, but we've been getting a good following. I can post them again. I put links to our podcast page, and then we're very active on Twitter. And as of yesterday, we literally just had a fan make us a Discord.
Yes, good. Fan run Discords are the best kind of Discords.
Yes, it's great. We like one of the people on the podcast, Shannon Strucci, who I think is actually on here, she made an entire like actual video to go along with our first episode, like with like little JRPG style animations, and it's so fucking cool. But so the person that set up our Discord for us took the images she made, like she sent them to him, and like made us emojis of our characters and all this shit. So it is. Oh yeah, Strucci just said hello on there.
Hi.
So Discord's popping off. It's super fun. But we're very active on Twitter, and like I said, the Libsyn link is our podcast. Like I said, it is a super weird podcast. It's not like triggering or like we definitely try to shy away from terrible stuff, but like it's got a lot of weird body horror elements to it that I, as the game master, kind of dropped on everyone without them knowing.
Surprise.
Yeah.
Awesome.
But yeah, and then I will say this, Matt Fishwager, I also loved your character and would love to like play war games with you. And we have guest players on our show too, so maybe we can, if you listen to the pod and enjoy it and don't think it's too fucking weird, maybe we can talk about it. And I can also, for anyone on the Red Dot Discord, I can because I had joined that a few days ago, I can drop a link to all this stuff on there too under the announcement section. But yeah, I had a great time. I stumbled upon your account while just looking for other RPG accounts and stuff like that, and then like I'm super happy with the one shot, and it was a really fun thing to sign up. So if anyone's listening or watching and is curious about playing, like I had a great time. This was a great way to spend a Sunday afternoon.
I'm so glad to hear that. That is all it's about. It's Sunday and fun days. Oh my god, I totally did not even finish this mimosa. Okay, Big B is going to tell us all about himself and where you can find him, and I'm going to chug the rest of this mimosa so that I can promise to do it justice. Please continue, sir.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Big B. Most of you know me from Red Dot's Discord because that's the only place I am really. I'm pretty new to the community. which most of you know, it's a really amazing community. Like ever since I've joined, like you've completely opened my eyes to like how people on the internet actually are compared to like how I considered people on the internet to be. So like that's been really amazing, and you all have been really awesome, and this game has been amazing.
I'm glad
Like,
you enjoyed it.
All the weird places it went, the strange turns it took. Like I really loved it, and I loved playing this character. So thank you all for having me.
Aww. Yes, yeah, and I'm so glad you're here. You know, it's funny. I talk to all of you all the time in my Discord. So to be always to be able to put a face, it's one of the reasons why I love Sunday Fundays. Is it gives me a chance to like come out of like my weekly or monthly rush from game to game and just get to roll some dice with you guys.
Yeah.
It's just so great.
I did want to give a shout out. I forgot to say this earlier. Smoke Leaf, like, it was so fun to play your first actual D&D game with you, and I loved your character and like the descriptions of you just being like covered in a cloud of smoke and you just see your eyes.
I want Smoke Leaf and Silo, which is my mushroom from the podcast that I do, to hang out.
Oh yeah, I totally forgot about Silo.
Because speaking of drug infused puns, her entire name, psilocybin sporlet, is of course the medical term for psychedelic mushrooms. She's also a smidge burned out on life, let's be real. So I want them to hang out and be best friends forever.
I have a drunken master monk / spore druid.
Yes, she's a Circle of the Spore druid. Okay,
Yes.
I'm feeling another one-shot coming up where everybody has to play inebriated people.
We're all on a big trip, and
No, it was one giant trip. Wasn't that what today was? No. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here and sharing this Sunday with me. You guys make me smile, which is why I do this, to spend time with all of you and tell stories. I love collaborative storytelling. It's what I'm all about. So if you tuned in for any reason and have never been here, welcome. Take a moment, follow the channel if you don't already. Thank you to all of you that tossed out subs today. Rem gave me that nice little freebie. Sub, if you got an Amazon Prime account, you can do the same thing. Pew, 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 pew. Hit that. It would be super, super cool. Other than that, follow me on social media. Hit that Discord link I dropped in there. And if for any reason you would like to support me even farther than that, I have tons of ways you can do it. I have a Ko-Fi. I have a Patreon. And my Ko-Fi and my Patreon supporters get access to a lot of cool stuff, including big announcements, stuff that doesn't go out to the public yet. I actually made a Patreon announcement last week that's huge for a new show that will be coming on the channel starting in March. It'll be the first show on this channel that I've not GM'd. I'm only going to be playing in, which is very, very exciting. I know. A gasp is. It'll be a system that has not been on the channel before as well, which is really great. You guys know I love testing out new systems, so lots of fun stuff there. Right now, you can catch me kind of in a few different places, pretty much every night of the week, I think, but Fridays. Playing a tabletop somewhere. And I'm going to be launching a brand new thing on Monday mornings called Monday Morning Mayhem with RTS Cosplay, who I do the North by Northwest podcast with. We're going to literally get together and just be creative. Probably, more than likely, she's going to teach me how not to fuck up sewing, so that I can start making my cosplays not just hand-sewn. And honestly, that's probably what it's going to be. It's typically like, Chelsea, you need to tighten the tension, or that's not how you do that. But it's cool. You guys get to watch me be all weird here. We're going to do a cross-stream. It'll be tons of fun. Unfortunately, for those of you on the West Coast, it's gonna be early. Even on the East Coast, it's pretty early. But you can catch us here 7 a.m. Monday mornings from 7 to 9 for 2 hours of just creative hoopla. There's no doubt that it will be true mayhem. Other than that, the rest of the time, it is stories all the time. You can catch me on Unmade Gaming's channel. You can catch me with the North by Northwest podcast. On Thursdays, I am running a homebrew campaign called The Little Things using D&D on Pro Restarter's channel. I'm in love with that cast and love with that story. Everybody plays adolescence. It's about looking at the eyes of Faerun through children and what their lives are like. It's kind of neat. It's somewhere between like Kingdom Hearts meets Legend of Zelda ish. There's even been some Lion King nods thrown in. It's been a lot of fun. So that campaign is up and running, and on Saturdays, right now in the for the first 2 weeks of March, you can catch me Saturday mornings on Roll For It's channel playing Capers. You may have caught that game here on this channel. Now I'm not GMing it, I'm getting to play in it, which is very exciting. And then promptly after that, I'm in a very extended Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition game, where I play your beloved pup and gangrel Dakota, and we can talk about all of that. Ooh, yeah, I love Dakota. God bless Dakota. She got in over her head. Anyways, so lots of places that you can find me, and then of course here Sundays are Sunday Fundays, and hopefully I'll be able to announce the new show very, very, very soon. If any of you want to catch up on what's going on here, I now have a YouTube channel where I am actively posting content and videos. I'm even backlogging a lot of our Sunday fun days. So this morning's will go up, and I'm constantly putting up new content. One of the things that'll start coming out in March are hopefully monthly videos, finishing up my series called RP Made Simple, where I talk about a lot of the tricks and tools that I use as a role player, based out of theater, improv, and my background as a storyteller. Most of them are things like, how do we do accents? I worked on that one the other day. Yeah. So lots of stuff, hopefully, that you will find useful and usable for you at your table. So there's a lot of things going on, a lot of things that I do, and most recently I'm excited to announce that I have accepted a job as a marketing director for a local improv and comedy house here called Dad's Garage, which is like the nerd central place in Atlanta for all of your nerd comedy. So go follow them, just like it sounds, Dad's Garage. They're wonderful, and you're going to see me kind of posting and doing some things with them here recently too, including their improv D&D nights on Fridays. So be on the lookout for that, because I'm sure I'll be blasting the hell out of it, both on my channel and on theirs. So lots and lots of fun stuff. And more importantly, do not ever feel like you can't reach out. Part of what makes Sunday Fun Days fun is not me. It's all of you. This is a community-driven game. So if you want to sign up, you actually can do that. I'm going to have new signups coming out very soon for the month of April and May. So make sure you get in on it. I'm going to keep doing 6-hour days, so there are always 2 games, 1 Sunday out of the month that you can be involved in for absolutely nothing other than your time and your laughs. So again, I want to thank you all so much for dropping by. Thank you all for helping me launch my very first 6-hour Sunday Fun Day and being like the last group. I know we ran over, so I really appreciate everybody's patience. And other than that, I am simply going to say, have fun, don't take life too seriously, and don't do anything I wouldn't do. Yeah? Okay, bye!